reading this material on Swamp the Vote. He is the czar of the mail-in ballots, early voting, call it what you will, also absentee voting in Pennsylvania. Confidant, certainly, of President Trump. I'd say he probably is in contact with him every bit as much, Dan, as maybe Van Drew, who's a big confidant. And he's saying mail-in balloting. Now, Dan, I didn't know any of this yesterday. I'm going to play you President Trump. And you have the phone lines. I'll listen. You're going to tell me, well, then Trump doesn't know anything. They're going to steal the vote. We heard yesterday in the post office. Here is President Trump. Now, Dan, I hate to be that guy, but I will be on this. This still is not good enough because it's kind of buried on the back pages. And I put this 1, 2, or 3 with winning this election. If we do well with mail-in balloting in Pennsylvania, we're going to beat him here. If we beat him here, we are going to win this election. You know, sometimes you don't know what you have to do to win. Sometimes it's pretty clear what you have to do. Stop Borowski. All right, that's it. We limit Borowski. We're going to win this game. All right, I'm playing a boxing one on Borowski tonight. He's not going to touch the ball. Well, it's the same thing with mail-in balloting. Here's President Trump through this organization with Sean Parnell. It made a little bit of news toward the end yesterday. And then I have the what I think is the ultimate, the guy who runs the Center for Immigration Studies. He's the most opposed to illegal immigration in the country. He's a great interview, great guest. He has what he thinks is the ultimate analogy to what Biden did yesterday by this phony baloney thing at the border. And it has a Philadelphia connection to it. But first, here's Sean Parnell breaking down. Well, this is President Trump through Parnell, and the group is called Swamp the Vote. Swamp the Vote. Here's what he said.
Jack Smith I think he's a deranged person, actually, and it's shown that in his.
Wrong one. Sorry about that.
Okay.
From the
Well,
very
I
first
agree
day
with that.
we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. I believe that we're going to have 4 of the greatest years in the history of our country. I will once and for all secure our elections. We're going to go to paper ballots. We're going to have same-day voting, voter ID. We're going to do it properly. We're going to have good, secure, beautiful elections. We never want what happened in 2020 to happen again.
Here comes the pivot.
But until then, Republicans must win. And we must use every appropriate tool available to beat the Democrats. They are destroying our country. Whether you vote early, absentee, by mail, or in person, we are going to protect the vote. That's the most important thing we have to do, is protect the vote. Keep your eyes open, because these people want to cheat, and they do cheat. And frankly, it's the only thing they do well. We will make sure your ballot is secure and your voice is heard. Many Republicans like to vote on Election Day, and we must swamp the radical Democrats with massive turnout on Tuesday, November 5th. The way you win is to swamp them. If we swamp them, they can't cheat. It just doesn't work out. But if you can't make it, you need to make a plan, register, and vote any way possible. We got to get your vote. So with your vote, we will win a victory the likes of which no one has ever seen before. We will evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024. The most important day in the history of our country. That's what it's going to go down as. Thank you.
All right. Now, that was quintessential Trump in there. He weaved and dodged. He went back and forth. But I like the pivot. He made the pivot there. He turned in the pivot. He took the drop step. He's down the lane. He's dunking. We're going to have paper ballots. We're going to have same-day voting. We're going to have voter ID. But until then, pivot. Do what Dom is saying here in Philadelphia. Damn, why he should have inserted that there. I would have been happy about that. But I'm sure Parnell, Captain Parnell, has been talking to him, Laura Trump, Watley, and he made the point there. They are going all out on election integrity. This is offense and defense. He made the point even talking about the offense, which is mail-in balloting, early voting, etc. All right, if you have a pulse, I'd love to hear, are you happy, as I am? The only thing I'm not happy about, it's not getting full enough play. In other words, what we're going for are the people that support Trump, but you can't rely on them to get there on Election Day. I don't know, one reason or another. Some years they get all riled up, like the first time in 2016 they come out and vote. Maybe in 2020 they didn't come out and vote. And he's saying we are going to ensure the validity of that ballot. 855-839-1210. That's Trump saying it, finally. Now let's publicize it more. What more do you need? And what goes with that is they opened an office here. We had on Wesley Hunt yesterday. We had on Byron Donalds, all out volunteers. And the volunteers, what they're trying to do is to get people that say they're pro-Trump, they can pinpoint this, to get them to bank their vote ahead of time so that we don't have to rely on Election Day. Imagine coming into Election Day, and based upon what we know in the mail-in ballot, we're fairly close to Democrats at that point. Well, then their turnout is not as good as Republicans. It's a pretty good sign you're going to win, all things being equal. All right, 855-839-1210. So that's President Trump. It's not somebody else like Laura Trump. It's not me. It's not Sean Parnell, who will be here at some point today. He's traveling, but we're getting him on. This is important. This is a key to winning. Everything else is there. 12:30, Sean Parnell will be here. Captain Parnell, you may remember him. He's somebody that President Trump really pushed, pitched, dropped out, but thank God he's in charge of this in Pennsylvania. What objection now? I realize it's a shock to the system, but I would say this. Do you want to continue with this? Do you want to, I'll put it this way, do you want to increase the odds of losing? The odds are getting lower of losing now if this is widely publicized. The odds are looking very good to me, particularly here in Pennsylvania. That's what we have control of. That's what's in front of us. All right, now with this border situation, and even Mayorkas, even with, he was on Fox yesterday. He only goes on with Neil Cavuto. I'll play what Cavuto told him will happen with what Biden now is putting in by executive order. The best analogy I've seen, this guy that heads up the immigration studies, the biggest voice, he's been the best the last 20 years on anti-illegal immigration. This reminds him, and he points out Fairfax, Virginia. It could be here in Philadelphia. What Biden has put into play here is kind of like these progressive DAs keeping shoplifting on the books as illegal. You can't shoplift. But then setting a limit in Fairfax, this guy, Dan, makes Larry Krasner. Krasner only said, I'm not going to prosecute you as long as it's $499. This guy said anything under $1,000.
Whoa.
My God, imagine going into a CVS and whatever, and you're going, all right, the clerk ringing it up. Oh, we should pay clerks to ring down the, okay, that's $9.98. You better be stopping right now. You could be prosecuted.
I mean, I saw over at Walmart there was a 85-inch TV on sale for $9.99.
There you go, in Virginia.
I mean, it's an 85-inch TV. It might be hard to, walk out there discreetly, but who's going to stop you, right?
Well, right, and in Fairfax, Virginia, the guy would say, hey, it's only $9.90. You should have a sale. You got to put it up to $1,000.
That's it, yeah.
I can see them asking the DA, well, does that include tax?
So I see you have the 75-inch Sony on.
Yes.
It's $1,400, but around Black Friday, is it going to knock down to $9.99?
Right.
I might come back and walk out with it.
Mr. Krasner,
Not saying I'm going to pay for it, but
is that tax included in that $4.99? That's what they ought to ask him. Can you see the face, the smirk, the cleaning of the glasses, the holding the glasses up, the Starbucks cup? Ask that question, one of you people in the media. I dare you. That $4.99, is it tax-free? He makes that point, and this 2,500 person figure makes a great point that I should have made yesterday. Did they focus group that? In other words, did they sit around and say, all right, what number do we have to give these dopes to say we're going to stop at allowing illegals in before they'll get upset? 2,500 means what? 12,500? No, it means 14,000. 17,500.
This is far too much math for a radio host.
17,500 a week times 52 weeks.
You want that?
Yeah, just give us that figure. That are allowed. Yes, producer's test. They're supposed to do
$910,000.
$910,000.
Just under $1 million.
Yeah, coming in illegally. That's allowed. You see in the focus group, I don't know. Maybe we ought to make it like 49 cents, like a sale.
No more math, please.
Yeah, that's a great line. Was this focus grouped? All right, suppose it's 2,500. Are you going to get nuts, a little nuts, a lot nuts? So that's why he's doing it. And it's better for him to do this sham than not. Here is the other part of the script, Dan. This is cut 5. This is Congresswoman Jayapal, who really is farther to the left than some members of the squad. She's playing her script here. She's claiming Biden is just doing what Trump did. Notice? Yeah, some people on the left might pretend to be angry, but it says what Biden is doing is very similar to Trump. So why get upset? Here's what Jayapal said.
Look, I think that this is a mistake for several reasons. One, this is severely limiting the right to seek asylum. Now, this is a right that we in Congress gave to people to come and seek asylum anywhere along the border, including between ports of entry, because it is extremely difficult for people who are fleeing violent circumstances in their home countries to make sure that they get to a port of entry. So that was why we put that right into law. Also into our international treaty obligations. This is actually the right to seek asylum is a right that we need to adhere to according to our international treaty obligations. Now, what we are doing is, I think what the president is trying to do is address the fact that we all want order at the border. We all want to see an immigration system that is orderly, that allows people to be processed quickly, that allows people to come in with different legal pathways. And Republicans have continued to block us in doing that. But enforcement-only actions like what the president is doing today, which mirrors something that Donald Trump did. It was stopped by the courts, but using 212F of the INA, of the Immigration and Nationality Act, is a harsh enforcement-only measure that is not going to work because people are not going to stop coming when they are fleeing terrible circumstances.
All right, so you notice her part in the script. Biden is doing what Trump did here. Now, on the left, they're not going to get all over him. They know that's not the case. What Trump did was effective and direct. All right, let me give you the side question. We're going to talk with the Captain Parnell at 12:30 today, architect of this in Pennsylvania, getting President Trump on tape, saying what I just played for you. Are you in shock? I told you could pivot on this. Now he just has to pivot in some of the biggest interviews and say, look, I don't like this. We're going to do this, this, and this when I'm elected. But to get to do those things, we got to win now. And I assure you, we have integrity, election integrity people that are all over this. Okay? That's Trump. That's what he said there, essentially. Side question, at Dan's behest, this is a good one. Tomorrow, of course, 80th anniversary of D-Day. So we're thinking about it today, and I've said many times about the only show that was on TV in which it was appropriate to allow profanity of the sort that they did was the Saving Private Ryan. I'm sure it's going to be played all over the place tonight into tomorrow. So we're looking for a film or a scene that is hard to watch but impactful.
Yes.
In other words, we're not looking for just some cheap
horror
scare. Yeah. Texas
it's
Chainsaw,
It's got to be tough to watch for other reasons than being just scary. Like
exactly.
It's a
gory.
moment in a film. It can be a fallout from a scene, anything really.
I think the scene that's hard to see in Saving Private Ryan in the beginning, Dan, is the guy wandering aimlessly up the beach and his arm has been blown off. And then you see the blood in the water on top of that. I've not been there. We hope to go there in the future with conservative tours maybe, but...
You know who is there?
Mike Waltz.
Well, Mike Waltz, Representative McCormick that we reached out to, and also I just found out now Colonel Allen West will be making a jump.
Well, get him on the phone.
Well, that's what I said. I said we want to hear from him live from France, and we're
You're working with him. Okay.
Right?
Let's get the Colonel on from France. So he's making it. I don't know how many times he's jumped, but I'm still stunned whenever I look at it, how in the world they were able to, on Omaha, the other beach is less resistance. How are they able to do that? That the Germans had every advantage. How do you even get onto the beach, stay on the beach, and fight your way to the top? It's remarkable. So I'm going to take off the Passion of the Christ.
Oh, that's a good one.
Saw it on the first day that it came out in a theater in Springfield. Told the story many times. The manager comes out and says, I don't want any disturbance in here. People are saying the rosary. And when we left, I wish I took a picture of it. There was a giant bucket of popcorn, almost none eaten, that was right there in the center aisle. How could you eat popcorn seeing
who
the
orders
Passion of the
popcorn
Christ?
before?
Yeah.
Are you expecting a happy movie like the?
Oh my God! Yeah, and from the
even the Ten Commandments, I'm not getting popcorn to watch.
The media about this, Dan, it was unbelievable. I got Gibson's father on, and it was an unbelievable interview because there were some loose ends with him. So give us something that impactful, or it could be Old Yeller. It could be impactful.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, number of reasons. Might be
hard
hard
to watch, man. Yeah, it's so
but you
hard to
do, and it's impactful.
This one's tough because I'm with you on the topic of capital punishment.
Mm-hmm.
But a great movie, and you might disagree, but because of Tom Hanks. But I really like The Green Mile. And there's a scene where the electrocution scene, and there's a missing sponge, and it's very, very hard to watch.
I would agree. It's impactful. Yeah, I am for. I haven't witnessed it, and you're called upon that. If we can't witness it, we shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a specific one, but even a generality, and I think we'll give extra points to specificity. So another specific one is the reaction in the final season of The Wire, the newspapers, to Omar's death. Someone that you became so accustomed to, a main character, and just to see that he's just such a footnote on on society, essentially.
Or in a Blur, some little kid just shoots him in a dirty convenience store in Baltimore.
And finally, just a general one, and we'll accept those as well, but they might not get as high on the list, but just the overall entirety of Schindler's List. Very hard to watch.
Yeah, very hard to watch, without a doubt. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is push pound 1210. Do want your reaction, though, before we get to Captain Parnell. This breakthrough. Now, this is extensive. It's President Trump on tape, not just some statement on Truth Social in the middle of the night saying we're going to accomplish all those things, but we have election integrity. We're all over it, but we need to win. And to do that, we have to reach these people that support Trump policies, support Trump, but for whatever reason, don't make it to the polls on Election Day. Do you want to win? That's all that I asked. I mean, it's the simplest thing to me. Yes, that's the driving thing. And if you don't, keep on opposing mail-in balloting and all the rest of it. And you're just increasing the chances they're going to win. That's all that you're doing. All right, 855-839-1210. A lot of Hunter Biden stuff today. Hunter Biden and the wifey both walking in with a valise like they have papers there, like they're intimate part of the defense. Come on now. He's got a sandwich in there, maybe, or God knows what else. All right, 855-839-1210.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Out here, in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is, there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through, or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Lexus of Cherry Hill, a 6-time J.D. Power dealer of excellence for customer service. Why would you buy your Lexus from anyone else? The 2024 Lexus models are here and moving fast, and the newly redesigned 2024 Lexus GX has arrived. Tony Labello and his team are your source for the Lexus of your dreams. Over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. You deserve a Lexus and award-winning customer service. Start your journey with family-owned and operated Lexus of Cherry Hill.
For J.D. Power dealer of excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT.
All right, it is the Dom Giordano Show. Boy, we have ace researchers. Dan Rowe even contributes. There's like a dozen unnamed contributors, and DJ just sent me this later on in the show. I love this stuff, even with as busy as we are today. This woman is getting millions of views because she's daring to say, judge me if you will, I don't care. I'm not putting my shopping cart back. I don't know about you, Dan, but that does bother me, the shopping cart not going back.
Me too.
It is a sign of just sheer... You know, I don't. Damn.
She has a justification though that might add a little wrinkle to this.
It's
man.
ridiculous. It's even worse. Yeah. What? That she has kids?
Yeah. You want? It's short. It's only about 15 seconds. You want to hear it?
Yeah, we'll take calls on it later. But let's hear what this woman said on TikTok.
I'm not returning my shopping cart, and you can judge me all you want. I'm not getting my groceries into my car, getting my children into the car, and then leaving them in the car to go return the cart. So if you're gonna give me a dirty look, off.
Oh, Mom of the Year! Yes! Oh, yeah.
But seriously, you have people breaking windows when they see dogs in the car, children in the car. Do you want to, leave the opportunity for someone to come in and smash open your window to free your child when you're trying to return that cart? I think that's her argument there.
It's maybe, all right, I'm judging by the one where we park at the Giant.
Yeah.
It might be 48 to 50 feet. So that's 100-foot distance.
So you could essentially yell at the person if they're about to break your window and they're looking in your car to see why there's a kid in there.
Yes. Or, how's this, lady? You look around, you don't see anybody there. You quickly walk the cart over, and you're watching when you come back with your kids. This woman is a problem. I see why she's getting. Can you imagine?
So you think she was caught in her BS and now she's trying to justify her laziness, essentially?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe somebody said something. I would say something there. You know, would I? I hate to be that. You know what?
I just don't get why can't people just bring it back to the corral? It's not that hard of a thing.
Well, this woman's just out of control, and she's using. You know what it is that I hate about her the most? She's using her kids as the excuse.
Well,
we all put our groceries in.
Yeah.
We all had kids. I had DJ and Luke. I used to come. They come shop, mainly DJ shopping with me, right? Yeah. You got to put the cart back. You're a bad person if you don't put the cart back.
A little bit entitled, right?
Yeah. Let's go to Bill in Bucks on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill, welcome in.
Well, thank you there, Dom, Dan, Jim. Good to see you all. Talk to you all.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, why has Donald Trump waited 4.5 years to embrace mail-in ballots?
Well, the answer would be like anybody else. He has to have people around him that he trusts, and he has to have a moment of clarity where they get through to him and they show him the numbers and they tell him, you are adding percentage points here to the guy you don't want to lose to. We know this is tough for you, all that you've said. But he pivoted back and forth in there seamlessly.
Well, when they had the special election in Middletown Township and over there on that other special election, you know, these mail-in ballots. The Republican Party did not do it. And as you said maybe a month or two ago, that, you know, the April primary would be a indicator of what would happen in November. Well, guess what? 1,000 mail-in ballots were received by the Bucks County Board of Elections. 13,000 were Republican, 35,000 were Democrat. Republicans had 28%. That is no good. That won't work.
Well, we're in agreement, but it doesn't have to go up a whole lot more than that. I'd settle for 5 to 7 and take my shot if I got 7% points more. And with the money they're spending and what this guy's doing, if Trump does this more publicly now, we will get 7 to 10% more, I'm convinced, without a doubt.
Well, as you know, in November, this number is going to double, and there's probably 50,000 mail-in ballots in the general.
Yeah. Okay, I got your point, Bill. Can I answer why President Trump didn't do this? Well, he ran, in 2020, talked about the shenanigans, which there were right here in Pennsylvania, big time. We know all that. But in that clip, he pivoted. Why? Well, Laura Trump's talking to him. Don Jr. has been out there on this. They got all this money now. They raised $10, $12 million just here in Pennsylvania to do this, and I think he respects Captain Parnell. I'll ask him that. He's coming up in a few minutes. I mean, I can't fully answer when a person is ready and they finally see what everybody has to see. Given the current circumstance, 2 things. This is the only way to win, and B, if you win, then we have to have a pledge. We are going to go all out. We should have had voter ID. All right? I mean, I tried to light a fire under Tom Corbett, who's a screw-up. He had everything. He had both the Senate, the House. He was governor. He let them wear him down with voter ID. And they're good at it. They'll say anything. And we may have to play that later on when it was the Admiral, Joe Sestak, in front of a hometown crowd, Dan. There's like 150 people there seething at me. I couldn't have been happier at Cheney State.
Dream.
And he goes, well, that's the problem with Dom. He doesn't want to listen to reason. And I kept on saying about this 85-year-old woman who I said, let's go and get her, Dan, registered appropriately, birth certificate, let's do it. And Sestak goes, well, we've already done it. So then I was on him.
She's 93 years old. Just talk to one. She's not going to vote. She doesn't have, if I could just a moment. She,
let me out of that
She
chair.
doesn't have, she could, but she's got to get somebody. She's got to find data. She's got to pay $13, and she's just not going to vote. And when every study has demonstrated there's absolutely no fraud whatsoever.
Come on now, here it comes.
Proven it's a problem that didn't need solution when we should be inviting more people in to be engaged.
Oh, I don't have the counter yet. Oh,
Well,
the counter's the best, man.
You don't have the counter.
I know. I'm getting it right now. It's
okay.
Fine, yeah.
Take a senior who's 93 years old.
Nope, that's not it. Okay. We'll have it here soon. Sorry.
All right. I want to hear what I said, particularly when he wilts. It was like man overboard. I'm throwing him a life raft at that point. No?
No.
All right.
What the heck, man?
So, okay, I know you're fine. So I say to him, well, let's drop everything. Sorry, this TV broadcast, because I was sensing it, Dan. Here we go.
Yeah. Sorry. And, Dom, I am failing.
Well, Congressman, I think, though, that what you just told a young person here is kind of destructive. Nobody's trying to prevent anybody from voting, and we would help the 93-year-old to vote. Maybe you and I ought to contribute the $13 so that you can vote, rather than on statewide TV bringing up a 93-year-old.
Well, see, what I think the value here is the greatest thing in the Navy, the Chief of Naval Operations said,
would you answer
if I
that?
could.
Yeah.
Chief of Naval Operations said, when any two naval officers come together, there's always a difference of opinion. That's the value of a democracy. It's not destructive to have a difference of opinion, Tom. That's the value, is that we both...
It is destructive not to take care of the 93-year-old. Tell me who she is. I'll pay the $13.
We already took
I'll
care
drive
of
her there. Well, then why did you bring it up?
But the point is...
Joe, why did you bring it up, though?
The point is...
Joe, can I ask that?
Yes, but you let me answer, Don.
Well, please answer.
All right, I'm going to interrupt.
Oh, come on, she jumps into the ring.
Oh, that's why you have things about moderators, huh?
Right, yes, jumps right into the ring. We're on statewide TV. Come on, guys. I should have jumped up and said, all right, set aside here. Let me just finish this show out. Come on. 2 naval officers, Dan. Can you imagine? All right, we're going to talk with the captain, Captain Parnell, leading up the charge. Every bit as important as what he's done before, getting President Trump to sign off on mail-in balloting. Dan, I got to give this guy a gold star for this year. He's next. He's going to explain that, and we'll see if you're on board. Also, if you don't return your shopping cart, call Jim now. We'd like to know why.
Yeah.
Hey, I've told you about my friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz, especially all the infrastructure he has. And one thing that we've been emphasizing recently, board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz, you don't see this much in a lot of offices. Taking the time. I realize it's difficult. That's what makes this good. Even a routine visit like a cleaning or a comprehensive, multifaceted process, he and his staff sit down with you. They create a clear plan explaining it step by step. So if you have questions, if you've been putting off a dental problem, if you're finally ready to get that smile you've always been wanting, now's the time to call Dr. Robert Bentz, the Bentz Dental Group. You will see the Bentz difference. Make that appointment today. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, BENTZ dentalgroup.com, or call 610-272-6949. Dr. Robert Bentz, my dentist. You're going to see the Bentz difference. 610-272-6949.
When meeting with Wall Street behind closed doors, it's impossible to know whether you're receiving objective advice or a deceptive sales pitch. Crash Proof Retirement records all financial meetings, providing a legally binding guarantee that your best interests come first.
Andy Donaldson. I've been with Crash Proof Retirement since 2014. Wall Street definitely lacks any fiduciary responsibility. Stockbrokers don't record their meetings because they don't want to commit to exactly what they say. Behind closed doors, do they really have my best interests at heart? It's quite a nice feeling to know that by recording their meetings, Crash Proof Retirement guarantees a full fiduciary responsibility, which means that you come out on top, and I'm not worried about them trying to nickel and dime me.
Learn why recording financial meetings guarantees peace of mind. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
An unsettled forecast returns to the Delaware Valley. Partly to mostly cloudy today with some scattered afternoon showers and storms, high 84. Tonight, a better chance for some showers and storms, some heavy rain possible, low 68. Thursday, partly sunny, still some showers and storms around, high 86.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, welcome in. I have enormous admiration for Captain Sean Parnell. When we first talked with him as he was getting ready to run for office, and now that I've seen he has another way to save the republic, and that is mail-in balloting in Pennsylvania. Sean joins us here in Philadelphia. Sean Parnell, welcome back, and thank you for multiple services. This might be one of the most important.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me back, Dom. I love being on the show. And yeah, politics is just like war, but without the bullets. So,
some days, yeah.
Yeah, some days, yes. So I just look to stay involved in any way that I can because, serving overseas, I used to always tell myself, Dom, hey, look, I'm fighting right now so that my kids won't have to. My kids don't have to be on a battlefield like this. And looking back now is like I'm almost 43 and I've got 5 kids now and they range 17 down to 11. And I realize now, thinking back to what Ronald Reagan said about how freedom wasn't passed from one generation to the next through the bloodstream. It has to be fought for. And I realize now that my kids are going to have to fight for it. But until that time, I'm going to fight with every fiber of my being to save this republic because there's nowhere else to go, Dom. There's nowhere
exactly.
else to go. So
and to that point, avoiding that in an honorable way, that is one of the great Trump legacies. I think it's the greatest Trump legacy if reelected. He got us out of these unending wars that others blunder into, and we lost a lot of great men and women and, of course, treasure. So here's the question, though. You got into this role here, and I didn't know that, and I'm thrilled about it. Then President Trump comes out. We played every minute and 43 seconds of us. It was very Trumpian how he weaved all through this. All right, listeners want to know. Finally, he's on. I know he said something on True Social before, but actually having him cut this spot. Are these going to appear all over the place? And how did it happen? What did he say that he finally came to realize this is the only way to win?
Well, first of all, I asked Don Jr., I'm like, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. Can you help me? And I asked Don if he could cut a couple of ads, and he did. And those ads were wildly successful. And of course, that's for Skip the Line, our website that helps people bank their vote. And he did. And I think that President Trump now understands that, to use a battlefield analogy, Dom, and I keep going back to that because that was a formative experience in my life. But if you establish a pattern, Dom, in combat, the enemy knows it. They watch you, and if you do the same thing over and over again, you get killed. Well, again, if politics is like war without bullets, Republicans have to start changing and adapting their tactics so that we don't lose races over and over and over again. The rules on the political battlefield have changed. Mail-in ballots right now in Pennsylvania are the law of the land. If I could wave a magic wand and fix it, I would, but guess what? We have to win first, and that's exactly what I plan on doing, is just being better at this stuff than the Democrats. And we finally have, a sort of constellation of organizations, Dom, where Republicans, that they can't get their act together on anything, almost never seem united, got, this constellation of different Republican groups came together and now are funding this in Pennsylvania to great effect. And I think it's going to make a big difference.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we've been talking about this on this show, but I'm going to tell you what the skeptics say. And you're the guy that, given your service and given what you told us with President Trump, maybe that can help. We get wild stuff. Well, Democrats control the postal services. They'll just cheat on this. And Trump, in that spot that you got him to do, in his own mind, tried to reassure people how seriously the Trump campaign is all over election integrity. That's the defense, but you are leading the offense here, which is low propensity voters and all the things we know about to bank their vote. We can do both things.
Yeah, listen, that's exactly right. And listen, Trump is by far the most electrifying political candidate in my lifetime, best president of my lifetime. And I don't care who hears me say that. It's the truth. America was in a better position when he was president than at any other time in my life, and that's just a fact. The guy brings out a crazy cross-section of voters. the likes of which I've never seen. Well, we need to get them on the rolls. We need to get them to bank their votes so that they show up in off-cycle races and they show up in midterm races, right? We want Republicans to win up and down the ballot, right? But what we realized through this program, and get this, like 2020, it was a disaster. Was it rigged and stolen? Absolutely. You want to call it fortified like Time Magazine did? Fine, do that. I don't care what you call it. There were lots of issues with it. But my point is, in 3 of 4, you got 3 of 4 voters and 4 of 4 voters. 3 of 4 means you voted at 3 out of the last 4 election cycles. 4 of 4 means you voted in 4 election cycles out of 4. These are what we call high propensity voters. Dom, listen to this. In 2020, the margin of Trump's quote-unquote loss, and of course I use the term loosely, was 80,000 votes. But we had in our party, Dom, over 100,000 3 of 4 and 4 of 4 voters stay home. So even if we're banking low proposition voters, first of all, that's just great. That's just a gravy train right there. But we had 100,000 high proposition Republican voters who, for whatever reason, stayed home in 2020, and that would have made the difference. Guess what? We're going to bank their votes too.
That's a great point. So we don't even need to take the long shot. We got like a 5-foot shot at the basket. The 3 out of the 4, right there. That's enough, and it could be a million different reasons. God knows what happens here. The analysis of that is fine, but we don't need to know that. All we need to do is get them banked, and then we can start taking some more long shots and throwing all those money and resources at Trump voters who haven't voted in, since 2016 or something.
Look at the voter registration in Pennsylvania this cycle with automatic voter registration at the DMV. It's R+8. And I can tell you from talking to some of my Democrat friends who are in politics, Shapiro took a shot on that for one reason. Almost every state that has implemented automatic voter registration slowly trends Republican. But my point is that if you can't get those voters out, it doesn't matter if they're registered Republicans. If they ain't voting, it doesn't matter. So here's the thing. We have a bunch – we're R+8 in 2024, which means we have a bunch of 0 of 4 voters, first-time voters who are Republican, who have never voted before ever, and we're going to get them too. So and here's the Shapiro and all the Dem lackeys in the state, they just bank on the fact that Republicans aren't organized, don't have the infrastructure to get their people out. The Democrats do. So automatic voter registration makes sense for him because he says, you know what, we're going to get our people out come hell or high water. Republicans are screwed up. They always have been. So we're just going to take a shot. But we're gonna make them pay for that mistake.
Oh, well, absolutely. And look, anybody through Don Jr., through that, Trump has been on to get President Trump to flawlessly pivot on this, and he said a lot of interesting things there. Do you hope that this will be publicized all over the place so these Trump voters will see it? Is that going to happen?
Well, yeah, and here's the interesting thing, Dom, is that we're reaching voters in non-traditional ways. So back in the day, it was about mailers and it was about getting on TV. But now a lot of voters are watching Amazon Prime and YouTube. So you start watching stuff and you're a Republican on YouTube in Pennsylvania, you're going to see our ads. And so we're reaching voters in different ways, and I think that's going to make a really big difference.
Well, I hope that you do your own because you represent everything that we value, Scott. And this is just, Sean, this is another example of stuff that's been going on kind of under the surface. Now, there is a website, and I guess the new catchphrase is swamp the vote. So where do people go if they want to volunteer, know more about this? And you're encouraging them to get these people that they know to bank their vote.
Yeah, just go to Skip the Line. SkipTheLinePA.com. SkipTheLinePA.com. Check it out. Bank your vote there. It's super, super easy, but check it out. It's awesome.
Well, Sean, we'll have Dan check in with you periodically, or if you have something, even a little wrinkle, something happened in our area, you want to come on, we'd love to have you here if you happen to be in town. Whatever it is we can do to inch this forward, it's a ground game here. By the way, do you know Scott Presler? Does that name ring a bell?
I do. I know Scott very well.
He's our guy. He's the ultimate incrementalist on this. He is trying to flip Bucks County. It's down to just 1,000 registrants on the blue side, on the Democrat side, from 9,000. It'll probably happen in about 5 or 6 weeks. And the symbolism of it, Sean, shows people this incrementalism, this ground game, and what you're doing. This is what's happening. Join the club.
Yeah, you know what? And absolutely right. And just look by the numbers. In Pennsylvania in 2016, I think the Democrats had a voter registration advantage of well over 700,000. Don't quote me on that, but
it was
a
million. I think it was 1 million at one point there.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane the advantage they've had here. Today, that number is just over 400,000. So we are slowly closing the window here. But with this program we're doing, it's not just about closing the window. It's about turning those people out, making sure that we have an infrastructure to make sure that they show up on Election Day, because guess what? Show up on Election Day or bank the vote, right? Because on Election Day, stuff happens. Family emergency, traffic, rain, weather, whatever. Show up at the polling place. There's no ballots. You bank your vote is good to go. It's going to be there on Election Day. You can track it every step of the way. It's a security blanket for the cause. Think of it like that.
Absolutely. Sean, I know you have other commitments, but thank you. And again, keep us in the loop whenever you want to come on. We'd love to hear you.
Okay, Dom, you got it. Thank you for having me.
All right, there's Captain Sean Parnell. Dan, that may be the most important interview, 10 minutes. If you have a pulse, what's your reaction to that? Let's hear. Dan has, coming up, we'll play it. Dan has pulled about a minute. It's a shortened version of Don Jr. talking about skip the line. So was it Don Jr. finally?
Sorry, the clip we played earlier is what I have, the Donald Trump cut down, but I can get you Don Jr.
Okay. All right. But I want to get your reaction to this. This is important. This is what winning is about. So now, I didn't know this was going on yesterday. Somebody sent me something because we were talking about it. This is as important as the policies, the rallies. The fundraising is enormous. We're winning at metric on that. But they're good at this. You got to recognize you just can't blow past the enemy. And sadly, that's what they are here. You can't blow past that and say you're just going to win. You're not going to examine what are they doing that's giving them an edge. I told you during the primary, they're standing there, someone comes out, and they said, yeah, Democrat voter. They try to sign them up. They had their iPad. They start signing people up right there at the polls to get into the mail-in balloting. That's impressive to me because I want to do it better. And we don't even have to do it better. We're going to swamp them on Election Day. But if you go into that slightly down or even pretty close, you're going to win. So it's just a question of, do you want to up the odds of winning, or do you want to just send me nasty emails? And I answer them. I can take it. I could be a hack. Oh, don't do that. And you know what? People always resort to. A guy sent it me yesterday. You know what? Trump knows better than you about the post office stealing our votes. We just played you. Was that an imposter? Was that the Trump imposter, the Trump impressionist there? No, that was President Trump. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Hey, June is Men's Health Month with Rescue Natural Supplements. Life is busy. It can be hard to focus on your health. Thankfully, Rescue Men's Health Supplements have the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. They provide men with what they need. Rescue supplements can help boost testosterone, promote a healthy prostate, as well as support energy and vitality for an active life. And for the month of June, when you buy one of their Men's Health single bottles, you'll receive a second totally free. Just use the code STRENGTH, STRENGTH, for the buy one, get one offer. To order, call a Rescue Product Consultant at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, or shop online by visiting res-q.com, res-q.com. Discover the amazing benefits of Rescue Natural Male, Prime RX, Super Prostate, and more. Again, use the code STRENGTH for the buy one, get one free offer on Rescue Men's Health products. Shop res-q.com and do it today.
This is the best time of the year for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting you. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. Call my friends at QC Kinetics today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your body's own ability to restore and regenerate repair damaged joint tissue. So, you can walk, run, hike, play golf, move again, play Frisbee on the beach, pain-free. Under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics has enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Call now. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. Get a free consultation. 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
If you put the words retirement savings crisis into Google, you'll get about 81 million references to explore. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, crazy markets, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. Don't trade the stress of work for a new kind of stress in retirement. Call Jim Cipriotti today, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415 to schedule your complimentary retirement second opinion. Or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
At California Psychics, we know that nagging doubts like, how much will a psychic cost? And how will I find the right one? Can stop you from getting the guidance you need. That's why we offer the best psychics at the best value. California Psychics have a wide range of psychics available 24/7. So you can find the one that meets your needs and your budget. If you can't decide, our dedicated customer service team are always available to guide you. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. And what do you know? Most of our customers get everything they need from a reading within that time. Our psychics may surprise you with their ability to offer unique insight on your life situation. In fact, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So, there's never been a better time to take the next step. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
Okay, it is Dom time. I don't know. If you're not fired up by that with Sean Parnell, you can have all the rallies in the world, is his point, all the fundraising in the world, right? You got to do two things. You got to fight hand-to-hand combat here in Pennsylvania with Democrats, shall we say, playing fast and loose with the rules. And two, you have to up your game to turn out people who aren't paid. You heard what he said. These people that voted 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4 that didn't show up, there were 100,000 of them. They were our votes. We win by 20,000 right there. I get the emotionality. People are fired up over the issues and all the rest of it. I see it differently, though. When it comes to stuff like this, I see it in just one thing: winning. Whatever you can do legally to win, I mean legally to win, whatever you have to do, that's what we should be doing. It's that simple. That's what Trump is saying in that spot. Maybe Don Jr. convinced him, Laura Trump working him over too. And you heard Sean Parnell saying you're going to be seeing that ad all over the place. I think he's on Fox tonight. I hope he says it. I hope he just says it right there. All right, let's go to Carol in Exton, PA, on the side question today, which is tomorrow, Reverential Day. Hard to believe, 80 years. Who hasn't seen Saving Private Ryan or The Longest Day or any number of films about World War II and June 6th? A scene that's tough to watch but impactful. Very tough to watch, it might be. Give us that scene. Give us that film. Carol in Exton. Hey, Carol, good afternoon. What do you have today?
Hey, Dom, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, you know what? I missed the very beginning part. I didn't know it was a World War II film. I apologize.
No. It's anything, Carol.
Oh, it was The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Right. Ooh. And what's the...
You know, I only watched it once, like when it came out, because it was so emotional. It was when his son had died.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't watch the movie again because it was just so impactful. It was just so emotional. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Oh, of course, Carol.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Dan, my favorite scene is when they ambushed the British officers and all, taking the son, who was killed later, taking him back to the fort. Mel Gibson in that. Oh, my God. And the sons are finally seeing what this guy's like when you turn him loose. It is, the sacrifice is incredible. Okay, coming up, we'll talk about this cart woman, among other things. And also want to get to what Byron Donalds, we're looking for the sound, but he's being attacked. He's one of our favorites, the congressman from Florida who's on the short list of VPs. He was here tonight. The Philadelphia Inquirer last night couldn't wait to just attack African-American legislators who were here opening a volunteer office and doing this cigar. They're just seething with all kinds of things they find wrong with this.
Oh, I have Representative Jeffries. I don't know the initial sound of Byron Donalds, but Jeffries says you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, Brian. You want to hear that audio?
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
Mr. Speaker, it has come to my attention that a so-called leader has made the factually inaccurate statement that black folks were better off during Jim Crow. That's an outlandish, outrageous, and out-of-pocket observation. We were not better off when a young boy named Emmett Till could be brutally murdered without consequence because of Jim Crow. We were not better off when black women could be sexually assaulted without consequence because of Jim Crow. We were not better off when people could be systematically lynched without consequence because of Jim Crow. We were not better off when children could be denied a high-quality education without consequence because of Jim Crow. We were not better off when people could be denied the right to vote without consequence because of Jim Crow. How dare you make such an ignorant observation? You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Oh, God. All right, you got to read the script. Who wrote that for me? Where's the other word? Check yourself. Wait a minute, page. Wreck yourself. Okay. I will answer that since we don't have Byron Donalds on speed dial here. We'll see if we can get him on this. That's not what he said. And you know what this is part of? They don't like it. We had Wesley Hunt on yesterday. African-American conservatives. You better check yourself or you wreck yourself. They don't like it. They can't take it. The Inquirer can't take it. They can't take it that Trump is breaking through. I will tell you what Byron Donalds said right here in Philadelphia last night, and we'll see if that's what Hakeem Jeffries just told us he said. All right, you get into it, 855-839-1210.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies. And we can probably help you, too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you tired of that dated old kitchen or bathroom? Ready for a refresh? You need to give my friends at Kitchen Magic a call. They've been transforming spaces quickly, beautifully, and affordably since 1979. From refacing to custom cabinets, backsplash, counters. Yes, you can get the kitchen you want now. Right now, they're offering 12 months of no payments, no interest financing, plus 10% off your remodel. Schedule your free in-home design consultation today. KitchenMagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in caregiving New Jersey families, the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. So they can't stand it. Anytime Republicans break out, outreach, they see an opening, Trump has a unique secret sauce that's breaking through, particularly with African-American males, Democrats go wild. And in the media, they're going to put this down. So Byron Donalds was one of the featured people here yesterday, Congressman Donalds, along with Congressman Wesley Hunt, who was our guest yesterday. They did this cigar night, and they also opened an office up there on Frankfurt Avenue. Okay. So Byron Donalds, we just played you, Dan found Hakeem Jeffries. They're making this a national story, going wild with this. He didn't say things were better for African Americans then. And I'll admit, Dan, that I have a tremendous bias here because thank God for Byron Donalds laying out just pure evil. This guy does not get enough credit for how destructive he was, an all-time animal in office. That's LBJ. He's the guy that did a lot of this damage. You could argue Obama, Biden, and all, but he set the path for this. He's the guy that led this destruction. So Byron Donalds here in Philadelphia talked about the fact, he says, we're seeing a reinvigoration of the black family, which he described as younger people forming nuclear family units, helping to breathe the revival of a black middle class in America. He went on to say those family values have previously been eroded by Democratic policies that black voters embraced after becoming loyal to the party due to the civil rights movement. All right, what is so crazy here about what he's saying? He said, you see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively. I think that's accurate. All right, it's a later development that we see the breakdown of the family. So is Byron Donalds saying, well, Jim Crow wasn't any problem? No, of course not. He's not saying that. But that's how it's being portrayed, that the head Democrat here, Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House, gone after him on this. He went on to say, and then HEW, meaning Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, Lyndon Johnson, you go down that road, and now we are where we are. The so-called Great Society programs, spearheaded by Johnson. It's now the Inquirer and others say, well, they included Medicaid, expansion of federal food stamp and housing programs. Yes, and what it also included was exactly what the problem is. Many people, not just Byron Donalds, would see this as the breakdown of families. Without a doubt. Any number of people have that point of view. Is that radical? Are they saying, let's go back to Jim Crow? That was better than this? I don't think Donalds is saying that.
So Donalds released a statement about 50 minutes ago, if you want to hear.
Yeah, let's hear what he said.
I want to clarify, too. Like, I've been looking for legitimately the past hour, and if you listen to the show, I'm pretty good at finding audio or video pretty quickly. I haven't seen anything on this, and this is all being based off of secondhand reporting of reporters who are in the audience rather than firsthand audio or video sources. Byron Donalds responds, Dom, here's what he has to say.
America, Joe Biden's campaign is lying to you once again, and they're gaslighting. Now they're trying to say that I said black people were doing better under Jim Crow. I never said that. They are lying. But why would you be surprised? Because they always lie. This is the same Joe Biden that said, if you don't vote for him, then you ain't black. The man is a liar. Sorry, just call it what it is. What I said is that you had more black families under Jim Crow. And it was the Democrat policies under HEW, under the welfare state, that did help to destroy the black family. That's what I said. And I also said you're seeing a reinvigoration of black families today in America. And that is a good thing. So don't listen to the lies from the Biden administration. I know what I said, and I'll say it straight to camera. They got to run to the Philadelphia Inquirer to move their lies. Joe Biden does not care about black people. He never has. He cares about power, first, second, and third. They can go somewhere with all that. See ya.
All right. Wow. Of course, we're trying to get him on here.
He's flying.
Yes. And
in the air.
Then, of course, Philadelphia Inquirer, there they are again, these weasel of weasels. They have to admit it was pretty diverse at both spots last night and all that, though. But this is at the core of something they can't let go because they see in Trump, and they can't figure it out, a Republican that has a secret sauce here, whatever that is, that gets the attention, is breaking through. He's not saying things that much different or any different than any number of Republicans might have said. But just picture the last two nominees. They would have been Mitt Romney in 2012, Trump in 16, 20, and 24. And Mitt Romney never stylistically, background, he's not going to break through with those voters. Trump is doing that. The same way Mitt Romney would not break through with these people in 2016 that came out in droves for Trump. All Trump has to do is somehow or another hold the base of what usually are Republican voters a bit more, and he's going to win. And this is a threat. Just imagine what it would be like if they can't count on 94, 95%, something like, Romney in some wards in Philadelphia got 0% of the vote. Now, aside from the fact that I think that's almost impossible, meaning God knows what they were doing, Trump is not going to be zero in the very same places. They realize this. Something is happening here. And this is their bedrock. You cannot be allowed to engage and pull away African-American voters. That's what they're saying here. That's what the Inquirer is saying. So they're slurring Byron Donalds by saying he said they were better under Jim Crow. He didn't say that. It's provocative what he's saying. They don't like the Lyndon Johnson. For me, O'Reilly sent me a pre-print copy of his book on press. It's beautifully done. I've only read 5. I'm reading one a day. I'm trying to limit myself to stretch it out. When I get something good, I don't read it quickly. I stretch it out more and say, oh, come on, O'Reilly, give me another 500 pages. And the idea of Republicans now being able to break through in this manner is shocking to them. They just cannot allow that. They can't.
How big of a test is this? I really think this is a very notable moment because how Donalds responds here might give that final notion to Trump as to whether or not he wants him as his VP.
Yes.
And this kind of response, man, I don't know how he could do it any better.
No. You could say there's a little bit of a risk factor there in that this guy's provocative, but I see it more he can handle himself, to Dan's point. That's why I like him a lot in this.
Yeah.
And also, more than Tim Scott. Look, Tim Scott, you got to love him. Patriotic, great American. I just think you saw it during the campaign. He's kind of ponderous in this stuff. I don't see it. I much like Donald's more in the ability to give it out to the media, including the Philadelphia Inquirer. Did they ask him about that here? I don't see that here anywhere.
I know what I said, and I'll say it straight to camera. They got to run to the Philadelphia Inquirer to move their lives. Joe Biden does not care about black people. He never has. He cares about power, first, second, and third. They can go somewhere with all that. See ya.
And Wesley Hunt that we have on yesterday, let's send Janice Armstrong over. I'm sure, Dan, she's writing up a column. They're all going to get this. Marcus Hayes probably will get him a column out of this. They're all going to get a piece of the action. The ball will continue over at the Philadelphia Inquirer. All right? And the national people saying, well, Donald's admitted some important context, namely that black voters were more inclined to vote for Republicans after the Civil War. It was a party that had supported ending slavery, et cetera. And how the Democrats came in with the civil rights movement. His point is well taken, though. The family was intact, even though we had Jim Crow, even though we had horrible conditions versus today.
Wesley Hunt also just responded.
Okay.
I don't have audio, but it's a tweet, and I can read it to you.
Sure.
It's from Wesley Hunt. Looks like the Biden campaign is panicking. I wonder why. Maybe it's because we struck a nerve. I was there, and I can tell you for a fact that Byron and I were talking about, what we were talking about is the Democratic Party breaking up two-parent black families with their failed policies. Jeffrey, stop peddling lies for Joe Biden. His record on race is so strong, his current vice president called him racist. Here's Biden's race report card for anybody keeping score. X, eulogize an exalted cyclops of the Klan. X, worked with and praised segregationists. I'm sorry, check mark versus X. It's not written out.
Check mark, right.
Yeah, so there's no check marks. These are all wrongs, X's. He opposed busing. Even Kamala said that. He authored the 94 crime bill. He said he didn't want his children growing up in a, quote, racial jungle. He told millions of black voters, if you're having trouble deciding between me or Trump, then, quote, you ain't black. Finally, he writes, Biden can't run from his record on race, and we won't let him.
There we go. How did this guy get there with that? Even Harris, he's right. And to this day, Dr. Jill Biden can't stand Kamala Harris because she brought that up in the second debate. It's an obvious thing what Biden has done. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. It's not outside the realm. It's not wild stuff to say what Byron Donald said here about Lyndon Baines Johnson. It is not wild at all. Now, you may differ on it. You may want to say, how dare you, given all the other things that were going on to blacks during Jim Crow. But I think his point is solid. He's saying, despite that, you had that strength, and you had people that were not just voting for Democrats all the time. Now, you don't see that, although he talked about some revitalization And he talked about how, I've often thought this. It is a strange thing that many African Americans I've seen in public statements, etc., are conservative religiously. And yet, I make this point. Let me take it out of race, Dan. Maybe I can make it better. I say it all the time about union members. They're among the most patriotic in the country. Why do they keep electing these people who are not, that are often anti-American? The UAW, some of the, this Ennis guy, making him go with illegal immigrants here in Philadelphia. Those guys that I know and see, they're not on board with that. And they tell me, well, we don't vote that way. Well, somebody is putting these guys in power. In other words, why are these institutions, be it unions, African-American voters, why are they in the thrall of the Democrat Party when it seems like in other areas of life, they don't line up with that? What is it that's keeping them going toward that? Is it just you haven't had the right Republican come along with the right style and background to break through? I think that's what it is. So would it help to have an African-American here in the case of Tim Scott or Byron Donalds as VP? We don't know that yet, but I don't think it would hurt with Byron Donalds. And to Dan's point, if you're looking for an audition, you're President Trump, just think of Doug Burgum, Dan, versus Byron Donalds. Come on. Could you really see Doug Burgum? Nice enough guy. Remember when he spoke, you and I were standing there and around Schellinger Avenue, and he had something prepared, and the audience went, oh, man, when does Trump get on? A guy like Byron Donalds is going to get people going. Picture him in the ring and debate with Kamala Harris.
It's a fascinating topic that Donalds is pursuing here, too.
Yeah, exactly.
And because he's talking about the welfare state. And I think about my sister. I remember having a conversation with my sister. She has 2 kids.
Right.
And she was talking when she was out of work, her unemployment, her benefits, her government benefits would have skyrocketed had she not been married to her husband.
Right.
It's not based on salary. It's just based on having 2 parents in the household. Things change when it comes to receiving welfare. And the point that he was making is it's happened to the white community. It's hit the Hispanic community hard, but it's really hit the black community the hardest with unmarried births. It's above 50% in some cases.
Well, wait a minute. I know when we did a show, Dan, this is even years ago in Dallas, we had the figures that was in the news or something. It was at that point about 76%. I would say it's probably 80% now, and that's several years back.
And it's crazy. And luckily, as Byron mentions, it's the trend's turning around. We're seeing more, dual parent families out there. But to take what he's saying here and to double down and try to exploit it as a huge racial issue, you should see some of the comments being made. I'm not going to read them back, but comments being made by people on the left that are referring to him. Again, we're going back to Uncle Tom, and we're going back to
here we go.
Very racist kind of notions being thrown towards Byron Donalds. It's so hypocritical, all of this.
Well, just seeing him from afar, but I've seen it with Allen West. There are certain guys you don't mess around with, but I've never seen anybody challenge Allen West face-to-face on this stuff. You get a sense that you just don't do that. Wesley Hunt seems to be more explosive than Byron Donalds, but I like what Donalds does. He's in your face, too, but he's calmer. Wesley Hunt, I could see getting kind of fired up with this thing. So if you like a Tim Scott, I like Tim Scott well enough, but if you're going to go this way because we're looking at these issues, I would go with Donalds. Yeah, I'm not doing the vetting, though. I don't know what's in his background. I don't know. Tim Scott has been vetted a bit more, maybe. Who knows what Trump is considering? It could be anything here. God knows what he's. I'll tell you this, though. Trump is not going to pick somebody wild for VP. As much as people ascribe to Trump, it's wild type of stuff. Look who he picked the last time. And why? Pence evangelicals. What's he trying to get this time? All right? Not sure yet. He's waiting till after the sentencing, probably. All right, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. I'd love to get your reaction to this. Don't forget, too. And it's a good one from Dan. Tomorrow we'll be commemorating 80th anniversary D-Day. Hit us with a film like Saving Private Ryan, probably a top 10 film. Sometime I have to do my big list, Dan. What would be your top 3 films of all time? Do you have them in mind or no?
No, I got to think about that
one.
Truman Show.
Oh, goodness. All right. Top 3?
Well, I think that might be number 1.
Oh, my God. All right, everybody, you know.
So it's personal bias. We're not talking about like the
Yeah,
best.
right. No, personal
personal
bias.
bias.
Yeah. I agree. When it comes to films, people are, you know, incredibly different. If you ask them for 10, it's really different. Their top 10.
Well, I think I can give you your top 3.
Go ahead.
Godfather 2.
Godfather 2's in there,
On the Waterfront.
Oh, boy, probably, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. That's a good memory on that, yeah.
And Dirty Harry?
Nah,
No?
It's not
Okay.
impactable. I love it. You know,
The third
I
one I'm
love
having a little
this
trouble
stuff.
with.
Yeah,
I definitely think On the Waterfront and Godfather 2, the amount that you referenced those.
There's so many scenes on the waterfront. I know it's old. So many great actors in there. I think 12 Angry Men's in the top 10 too.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, duh. No, that's got to be
Yeah.
your top 3. I mean,
Yeah, that's there was almost a fist fight in there. If there had been the fist fight, I'd put it in the top 10. All right, 855-839-1210. Your contribution from sort of contributing, Guy Shiraki, Dan, what was his scene you have to watch?
Yeah, he says the dinner party episode of The Office.
Yes.
And it's hard to watch, not necessarily on the impactfulness, but the cringeworthiness of the episode.
On cringe, when she breaks the big screen TV or the plasma TV. Oh,
remember him
man.
pulling it out, showing how he comes out, and he's so proud of it.
Exactly.
I would argue, though, that that's not the most cringeworthy episode of The Office.
One point while I'm thinking about what is, whenever you have someone over and the dinner's not going to be ready within a half hour, most guests arriving, Dan, that's rude, and it's a sign of a maniac. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it should be within a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
When we start getting to 9 o'clock and the food's not ready at this point, it's like, what are we doing here, Ro?
Yeah.
I got to
you're
get
kinda
out of
like-
here.
Yeah, and you're like wondering, is it rude to say something?
Yeah,
And,
like hurry up.
like the
start
hors d'oeuvres
cooking.
are still out, and it's 8:30 p.m. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Let's start cooking. So the most cringeworthy moment in The Office.
When Michael Scott promises a group of
the kids,
a group of kids that he's going
Yes.
to pay for their college education, and they reach
Oh,
graduating age, and he has to tell
Oh,
Scott's
man.
tots.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, God. That
So
scene with
cringeworthy,
him
man.
is unbelievable. All righty. 855-839-1210. Get in right now.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Guys in the break room, I go in there to get coffee, and they're all looking at this Chex Mix thing. It's all melded like a Dorito turd that's in the bag.
In the vending machine?
Yeah, in the vending machine.
Well, there was a bag of chips hanging in the vending machine for like 5 days.
Yeah, it's been there for weeks, actually.
And it's like this close to
I know.
falling off the ledge.
I've tried to shake it. It still goes nowhere.
Radio station kitchens are the greatest thing of all
Yeah.
time. There's content fodder for days in that area.
Absolutely true.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm Philomena, founder of Kin Apparel here in Philly. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing to it. So I made my own satin-lined hoodies and created a business in the process. I've got big dreams, and Chase for Business in Philly was like, all right, how do we get you there?
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JPMorgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Father's Day is almost here. Are you struggling to find the perfect gift for the man who has everything? Well, trust it from this guy who's a dad. It's Rich Zioli. Dads love steak. Dads love world-class food, and a world-class dad deserves a world-class steak. And there's nothing better than Omaha Steaks, but you need to act right now because Father's Day is next weekend, just about. So do it right now. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code Zioli at checkout. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. Endless flavor, endless variety, endless value. Truly, they have perfected more than steak. And your dad is guaranteed to love every bite. And all the steaks at Omaha Steaks are aged for 28 days to bring out that incredible flavor. But you got to do it right now because Father's Day is going to be here before you know it. So go to omahasteaks.com right now. Put in my name, Zioli, at checkout. You will get additional savings. And trust me, dads never return steak. They return ties. Don't get your dad a tie. omahasteaks.com, promo code Zioli. Happy Father's Day.
It's here, the summer heat, and it's getting hotter, and that heat's just pouring into your home. Need a solution? Trust PJ Fitzpatrick for the perfect new insulated and vented roof. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. PJ Fitzpatrick, voted best of Philly, installs most roofs in just one day. Set up a free design consultation. Plus, they have special financing if you need it. Visit trustpj.com today. That's trustpj.com.
Free speech lives here with Rich Zioli, afternoons 3 till 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. WPHT.
Tom Giordano Show. Welcome in. So the Dean of Decency was on with Joy Reid, and Reid asked her last night about do your colleagues, Dean of Decency, want to get FBI agents killed, coming off the Attorney General testimony, Merrick Garland testimony. And Dean said, yeah, of course they know what this can lead to, but they're in the thrall of a cult, just with one man. You know, there are insufferable figures. I get why people say that about the squad, but they're made notorious. This woman and her colleague, Mary Gay Scanlon, are just scurrilous. Yet the suburbs, they've eaten this up. I would offer those two as Exhibit A of what the heck has happened in the suburbs. Have people lost their minds? It seems like a horror film that they are going to be in Congress for life based upon what we see happening. All right, let's go to Robert in Ben Salem on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today. Real quick, I like Byron Donalds a lot, too, but it presents a problem if he's the Veep, because the Electoral College, which was written in 1787, prohibits electors from voting for two people from the same state. Back then, the top vote-getter was the president, and the guy in second was vice president, irrespective of party.
Well, what would happen is Trump would change residency. Trump would handle it. Yeah, and it's a paper thing. Yeah, it's a paper thing. Sure.
Sweet. Okay, yep. I'm glad to hear that, because I was reading about that, and I'm like, it's not a big issue, but the Democrats are just going to take it to the Supreme Court,
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
For my answer to the side question, I have a question, Dom. Is it safe?
Yes, of course. Well, Dr. Bentz sometimes asks me that.
That is awesome. No, but I want to go with that scene from the Marathon, man, where Sir Olivier was drilling Dustin Hoffman's teeth. I still cringe when I think about that.
Oh, man. And they asked him. Yeah.
Love the show, Don. You have a great day, man.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, of course. Yes. I don't think he ever answers him fully. The idea was that Roy Schneider was particularly hard to kill and go after, and Dustin Hoffman is from the same lineage, so he's got to make sure it's safe to go and get his jewels with the Marathon Man.
Is it safe? Yes, it's safe. It's very safe. It's so safe you wouldn't believe
it. Right out of Seinfeld, that answer. Dan, you have a little bit more of that Joy Reid and the Dean of Decency.
Yes, I do. Let me go back to that here. Here you go.
I'm joined now by Pennsylvania Democratic Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, who was in that Judiciary Committee hearing with Attorney General Merrick Garland today. Congresswoman, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It is sort of basic civics 101, and one would think a congressman would know it, that a state trial and a state case has nothing to do with the Department of Justice. What was the point of that hearing today?
To mislead the American public. That's what the Republicans literally wanted to do. They want to continue, whether it's on newscasts or in the newspaper or in a hearing, with the Attorney General of the United States to mislead the American public. It is extraordinarily dangerous. And I don't think the American public is naive that there's a federal system and there's a state system. But we each, many of us, had to just reiterate, please, was your connection to the Alvin Bragg DA case, the state case in New York?
Let's do a little.
The answer is nothing.
We'll do a little Civics 101, just in case there's somebody out there that wants to send this clip to their Trumpy uncle.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go through these very quickly.
Yeah.
If somebody is charged with a crime in the state of Pennsylvania, in your state, does the Department of Justice determine who the judge is?
No.
If the person is charged in the state of Pennsylvania or the state of New York, does the Department of Justice choose what the charges are?
No.
Does the Department of Justice prosecute the case?
No, they don't.
Can the Department of Justice stop that case from happening?
No, they can't.
Can they intervene in any way?
No.
Did Merrick Garland have anything whatsoever to do with Donald Trump being charged with crimes in the state of New York?
Nothing.
Did he hire Alvin Bragg?
No.
Could he hire Alvin Bragg?
Bragg was elected.
Oh, God.
Decency.
There you go. That's what it is. That Madeline Dean and you goofballs out there in Montgomery, Delaware, and somewhat Chester County, you're electing these frauds and the Houlihan, too, in there. What has gone on with the suburbs? How did they lose their minds where there's not even a challenge to Madeline Dean? The only time I had her on, Dan.
Madeline.
Yes.
Madeline Dean.
Madeline Dean.
Madeline Dean.
The only time we had her on, she corrected that, and then we discussed potholes, and we were off to the races.
So she corrected you on the name? So it is Madeline? Is that correct? Have we been saying it wrong the time?
Yes, I still say Madeline. I don't know why, but I'm
Pennsylvania Democratic Congresswoman Madeline Dean.
Madeline.
Madeline.
Madeline Dean.
Madeline Dean.
Yes, or for short, the Dean of Decency.
Duly noted, Dean.
They were arguing
Decency.
over going after President Trump if you were there at his estate in Florida, and would they be able to use deadly force, trying to claim that standard. And my argument was, no, it's not in the rules of engagement. And wouldn't you want to not go there with a former president and candidate for president? Wouldn't you want to restrict that, returning fire with the Secret Service and all? So they're lying, of course, on this. And now if we challenge the fact, did Reed asked Madeline Dean about the fact that the third in command, very high position in the Attorney General's office, suddenly was working with Alvin Bragg and was the lead prosecutor. That apparently didn't come up. All right, I'd love to get you in, get your response to Byron Donalds, who looks really good in this, I think.
No.
If you're President Trump looking for a VP choice, he was here in Philadelphia last night. They're going to town with this, claiming he said things were better for blacks during Jim Crow. We played you his response. We gave you the context of what he was talking about. Who's carrying the water for the Democrats here? Your Philadelphia Inquirer. They never fail, do they?
I thought you were going to say 76ers there.
Yes. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Philadelphia, 76.
All right, now they're carrying the water to have them get a stadium downtown.
What's the Inquirer doing, though? Like, why?
Oh, of course. Well, this is
surprising.
This is what their readership, such as it is, this is what they want. They can't get enough of it. Anything that stops Trump. 855-839-1210. Batteries plus bulbs. Two big stores with my buddy Roy. Mount Laurel on Route 73, Tilton Road in Northfield. And every time I talk with Roy, I give you examples of people who have come in, gotten wonderful service, and also they may have gotten a tip or two for the future as far as tech, as far as dealing with it. And Roy wants you to know, if you're a business, commercial, in any way, they'll come to your business, do an energy audit, do an audit on what your tech needs are, how to upgrade, something that's not quite working. They come to you. For everybody else, they just do remarkable work. I've told you some of the sentimental stories. And when it comes to fixing your phone, nobody's better. Just check out Chris Sharp, the master tech, Farah, the store manager. This is, Roy is the originator of Batteries Plus Bulbs 18 years ago. So he knows the ropes. This is like a superstore. You can get anything. They fix stuff. They fix tech. And those two things, and going to the ends of the earth to try to please their customers, that's what this is all about. You're not going to find any place better in the area. Here's the bonus, too. Just mention my name when you stop in the Roy stores, and you will be entered to win a $50 gift certificate to use in the Mount Laurel and Northfield locations. Mount Laurel on Route 73, Northfield on Tilton Road, no purchase necessary. Now, to call Roy, and do it right now, and his staff, with whatever the problem is, whatever you're trying to get done, something you're trying to bring back to life. I can't read that, but I do know this. You will get the very best. Call 856-638-0778, 856-638-0778.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
How did your son or daughter do in school this year? Do they need a strong finish academically? The end of the school year is the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your student finish strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
An unsettled forecast returns to the Delaware Valley. Partly to mostly cloudy today with some scattered afternoon showers and storms, high 84. Tonight, a better chance for some showers and storms, some heavy rain possible, low 68. Thursday, partly sunny, still some showers and storms around, high 86.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, it is Dom time, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. By the way, the Wall Street Journal, which even the other side has to admit, yeah, it's conservative, establishment Republican, with a massive number of people, many of them Democrats, talking about President Biden and how bad it is behind the scenes. And they mentioned the fact that Dr. Jill Biden Ron Klain, Susan Rice, and then other minions are the ones that are actually running things. I mean, you have any number of people with getting real power, more power than you would ever get, because this guy is not doing day-to-day in the slightest. And they are not going to give it up. You know, this is the only shot they believe they have. I know, as bad as it is, the only candidate that can win, keep him in there, and then we, in the second term, will have even more power. And they, the Wall Street Journal says it'll only be a matter of time after the election, sometime in 2025, Bob Woodward or somebody like that, he already knows, will have the book out with all the people saying, oh, my God, you don't know what it's like here, how little Biden has any semblance of being a president. We can see that. Why go with him then? Well, A, it would be messy. They don't want to give it up. Maybe they don't see anybody else. Maybe they don't see Newsom or any of these others being able to win, and that's all that they care about. Get over the finish line. Whatever happens to them in the second term, well, it happens. All right, side question today. Coming off tomorrow, D-Day, Saving Private Ryan. Give us a moment in a film. I think somebody mentioned, a guy mentioned cringeworthy moment in The Office that is hard to watch, but tremendous. I mean, it says something. Could be impactful, could be cringeworthy. Think of all the moments in Saving Private Ryan that are particularly on the beaches at the beginning. Hit us with that at the end of your call. We had on Sean Parnell, and I guess people, I don't know, I just think President Trump now, and Parnell told us, you're going to see this all over the place. I'll play it in the 2 o'clock hour again. We had about a minute and a half of Trump telling people, yes, vote early, legal, vote by mail, absentee balloting, do whatever you can, get other people to do it, bank those votes. We have to win. If you win, then the mission is voter ID, paper ballots, all the things that you want that you're not going to get if you don't win. And we went through with Sean Parnell. This is the critical thing out of just about anything that I can think of. If that mail-in balloting goes up by 7 to 10 percentage points in Pennsylvania, then come election day, we're going to look at it and say the odds are looking incredible. And I think people are going to turn out. But thinking it and people actually voting, yeah, but Dom, what about all the money they have? What about all the rallies? Well, look at all the rallies in 2020. Now, the other part of it is election integrity up and down the line, including chain of custody, et cetera. Dan's working on getting Stephen Miller on. He's quarterbacking some of this. The guy that heads the RNC was picked by Trump because he's the ultimate election integrity guy. But he's on board with mail-in balloting. So are people going to embrace this and win, somewhat embrace it and maybe win, or not embrace it and lose? And we're going to go through the same thing. It's maddening, to put it mildly. Sean Parnell was incredibly compelling. And he said that Don Jr. started it by cutting an ad for them, skipped the line. And he believes he talked to President Trump. So did Parnell. So did Watley. So did Laura Trump. And he finally cut that. So if you missed it, I'm going to play that today in the 2 o'clock hour. We can get emotional, get all revved up on all the issues swirling, even the verdict, even all those things, and what it comes down to. I have a poll here that says that support for President Trump post the verdict, a YouGov post, following his conviction, that GOP voters were 3 times as supportive as before. They would not abandon Trump. Far more Republicans are now okay with, quote, allowing felons to be president than they were before Trump's felony conviction. It's astounding, the numbers here. So that's there. That's all good. But it doesn't matter in the end. Have we lost the fact what they're good at is turning out their voters? Now, you can just dismiss it as cheating, and there is that element, and we can't just complain about it. We got to stop them in as many ways as we can, but it's more than that. Their voters don't show up on Election Day. How many years have I joked about, I hope there's hailstones, and I hope there's waters like when we had that giant flooding. Remember when downtown Philadelphia, that guy dove into the muddy waters
You're in
off
favor
the
of making
bridge.
it harder to vote, Dom?
Yeah. And all those things. They don't show up. We joke about it. They know it. And mail-in balloting has bailed them out. So you're going to whine and complain about it, or are we going to beat them at this too? And if we do, then the reform comes in to eliminate a lot of this. Let me go to Joe in Columbus, New Jersey here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, afternoon.
Hey, Dom, you get me out of my game because I got to follow up the dean of the deplorables.
Yeah.
I lose it. I've been for Byron Donald for well over a year because the guy is strong. He's convicted. He's an enforcer, and you're not going to take him off his game. But when you were talking about earlier with the unions, how come these union workers don't follow in suit? I see it every day of my life. They think their unions give them a life. And I've had my friends pat themselves on their back cheek saying, my union, all I care about is what I have here in my back pocket. And I tell them, if it wasn't for an entrepreneur, if it wasn't for a contractor, your union is just a transfer agent. They're not giving you a life. It's the guy that creates. It's the guy that invents himself who wins the bid. The union just transfers the money to you. And what's been going on with this is, the extension of what's going on today with the buyout. We'll pay for your, money's the biggest, power's the biggest aphrodisiac, but money's a close second. And when you offer to pay somebody and give them a life, you can garner a lot of vote. And it's shallow. It's hollow. You're not going to get this money.
Yeah, the question is, too, Joe, where is the line, though, that with a lot of these guys, mainly men, where it's broken? I look at any number of – when this guy Bob Ettis, who headed up the building trades, made these union guys go downtown to Penn's Landing, hundreds if not thousands of them, for this parade of people that are here illegally, I'm thinking, guys, based upon my experience with you, and they took attendance, how could you go along with this?
Yeah. They got to make that break from the union fabric. They really do. They got to know what's hitting their front door versus what's in the union hall.
Exactly. Thank you, Joe. Thanks very much. But this Byron Donald's comment here is just a perfect example of where we are. And why I think if this were an audition for VP, I get why people like Tim Scott, but I don't see it as much. Now, I'm not in the internal vetting. I don't know what they're finding or not finding, but on the surface, much superior if you're going to go that way and you're looking at that part of this than Tim Scott. 855-839-1210, you get on board. Hey, it's important to make sure that our families have the essentials, food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. There's a lot of news about drinking water these days. Just do what I did and count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all-natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family is passionate about water. They'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. Their customer service, attention to detail are just fantastic. They'll come out to your home, test your water, recommend solutions that make sense for you. Contact Martin Water Conditioning, and they'll take great care of you. Click on martinwater.com or call 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. Get ready for spring with njdiet.com.
Are you a Philly entrepreneur? Do you run one of the fastest growing companies in the Philly region? Do you want to benefit by being part of the Philadelphia 100 Awards and join other winners who have been recognized by this 35-year-old organization? Free applications are now open at philly100.org.
Apply now to be highlighted as one of the fastest growing companies in the Philadelphia region. Join us in the fall when awards are recognized. Register today at philly100.org. That's philly100.org.
Dawn Stensland here for my friends at Anderson Mechanical Corporation, AMC. Yeah, they want to make sure your AC blows that cool air you'll need when summer temperatures are here. The owners, Carrie and Bill, take great pride in doing things the right way. Take advantage right now of their spring tune-up special. You'll receive a 15% discount off your spring maintenance and 1 year of free maintenance with a replacement system. Call them today, amcontheweb.com, amcontheweb.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Summer's almost here, and it's time to tackle that to-do list with an American Heritage Cash Reward MasterCard. Get up to 3% cash back at home improvement stores, groceries, and pharmacies. And when the chores are done, treat yourself to a well-deserved vacation, earning 2% cash back on travel, hotels, and ride shares, and 1% on everything else you buy. Apply today at AmericanHeritageCU.org/credit cards. Subject to credit approval. Insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
with Dom.
That's right, it's that time in the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan Time with Dom. And quick producer's note, go to youtube.com/@12WPHT. Some new stylings on the YouTube channel for the Dom Giordano program. And I want to give a special thanks to engineer Austin Yim, who's been doing great work behind the scenes. We got now live time, temperature. It's turned into a great production here with the Dom Show. So go, youtube.com/@12WPHT. Go like and subscribe, please. Dom.
I heard him discussing dining with Dom. I don't know when the food's going to be here all the time.
So we dine with Dom from noon until 1. And
right.
then I was saying maybe from 1 until 3 we should just switch back to, Dom time on the bottom there.
Dom time with hair tips, yes.
Yeah, but I got to say, Austin's been amazing.
Oh, yeah, he has
been. So thank you, sir. Hey, so your rapper, your all-time favorite rapper, Dom, is getting into it with Don Jr. So Don retweeted a comment or a photo of Eminem that says, Eminem says he'll leave America if Trump is elected. Does anyone care? Don Trump Jr. commented, are you really telling me that that's not Ellen DeGeneres?
About Eminem.
Yes, so Newsweek has reached out to Eminem for comment. No comment yet, but it seems like they're trying to stir a feud between your favorite rapper and the son of Donald Trump.
That's certain. Well, it's that song, the music, the moment. I get it.
Yeah.
I get
Is it just
the
Lose Yourself?
competition.
Everything else you're not a big fan of, just the one song?
I don't know enough about him. My rap knowledge is in a thimble, but I know that. It's competition. That's what he's talking about beautifully, yeah.
Speaking of rappers, well, he's not much of a rapper. He's more of a hype man, but member of Public Enemy. Flava Flav. You familiar with Flava Flav?
Yeah, of course. The guy with the clock,
The guy with the clock. That's how everybody knows him. And the grills.
Right.
But he writes, he took a picture of Cheddar Bay biscuits from Red Lobster saying, your boy meant it when he said he was going to do anything and everything to help Red Lobster and save the Cheddar Bay biscuits. He went to one of the remaining Red Lobster locations and ordered everything on the menu in an effort to help save.
Why did Red Lobster fail? I think it's off the radar screen. I liked Red Lobster a lot, but when they give you unending shrimp, can't do that. People go wild. They'll eat,
So a lot of people like to blame the shrimp, but it's actually something that's happening a lot. And what's happening are these hedge funds are investing in companies like Red Lobster, their parent companies. And what's happening is they're selling off the land under the buildings and essentially making these franchisees or whoever's owning the lower levels to buy back or rent back their building on this land. It's so inconceivably high that they just are driven out of business, and that's what's kind of happening here at Red Lobster.
Well, Rubio's is the other one, 48 chains across California. What's killing them are Bidenomics and the minimum wage.
Yeah, it's sad to see. And me and Maisie, we did our part in trying to save Red Lobster. We went recently. And
how many shrimp did you down?
I got they don't have the endless shrimp anymore. They have like pick 3 different types of shrimp, and you can make an entree out of it. I had 3 different types. It's not bad. I don't think I've ever been to Red Lobster in my life. I just heard about those biscuits, and I've had the homemade ones, but it's decent. You heard Dawn talking before the show, Dom. There's flying venomous Joro spiders that are making their way to New York and New Jersey, allegedly parachuting in to take on the stink bugs and the lantern flies. Are you scared of parachuting spiders, Dom?
No, I haven't seen them in Germantown enough yet. I heard they're harmless, although just the
I think if you're a spider parachuting, you're going to try to stay away from
from human beings. I worry about them more for your dog. Things like that, there might be some kind of difficulty, Having
a dog, I didn't realize the impact that dog ticks have. It seems like every time I take her on a walk, she comes back with a tick.
Brutal.
It's disgusting.
Brutal,
That's all I got for Dan time today, Dom.
Bro had a dog where I remember them used to be lighting matches after they would take the tick off and killing it with a match.
Yeah.
It was when I was first gone over there, and I'm like, what the heck is up with this?
Similar experience with me and Maisie.
Are you lighting a match?
Well, yeah, and her dad was like, because she lives kind of in the or her family lives in the wilderness of Cape May, Cape May and Atlantic County right there. And every time I'd go over, they'd pick a tick off the dog and burn it with a match. And I was like, what the hell am I getting into?
I know.
Now it's my life.
All right, so Rose, not that strange. All right,
no, she's not.
Coming up, we have a librarian making news today. She's asked the question, when did I say I'm not going to be a librarian anymore? Could it be when I had to okay this book intended for under 7-year-olds that contained illustrations of men in fetish gear? Yeah, under 7, that might not be appropriate, right? It might have to be till they're at least 8. All right, we'll talk with her about why she quit as a librarian and what she saw through the progressive lens that she would have to okay. She wasn't in charge. As I said, making a good bit of news. I'm going to replay for you, though, what we had on with Sean Parnell earlier in the show today. They've gotten President Trump to make this ad you'll start to see all over the place. We had it first here, in which he talks about mail-in balloting and the necessity to do that to win. Dom's Money Melody 2, big 2 o'clock hour coming up.
According to a study conducted by Atticus Law Firm, 40% of retirees were forced back into the workforce because they received a deceptive sales pitch from their broker. But there is one way to ensure that you don't become part of that statistic.
Tony Gambone and Denise Gambone, Royersford, Pennsylvania.
I know people that had to go back to work because they got bad investment advice from brokers. By recording our sessions, Crash Proof Retirement proves they're willing to put their money where their mouth is.
The recordings used by Crash Proof Retirement, it's just a natural extension of how Crash Proof is legally bound to do right for the consumer.
Guarantee legally binding transparency for your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Introducing the Honickman Center at Jefferson Health. Outpatient care designed by patients like you. Together, we're shaping the future of medicine, where advanced technology and comprehensive services ensure convenience and accessibility for all patients. Everything you need to simplify the complexity of care is available in one location. Uncompromising care, delivered by world-class physicians. To schedule an appointment, call 1-800-JEFF-NOW.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows, along with no interest for 5 years. Plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate. If your inefficient windows are costing you too much for air conditioning, that's a big deal. Now during Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace them and save a big deal too. Offer ends June 30th, so schedule your in-home estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com.
Out here, in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is, there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through, or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time, and our guest already offering apologies for a Scottish accent.
Come on.
No, I think a Scottish accent is Robert McIntyre. Dan won with his father on the PGA Tour last Sunday. His accent was fine.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
I honestly say that I think Scottish, Irish, English accents are up there with the best. You're talking to Philly Delco.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, we don't have an accent here. We're accent free.
Sure, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The worst accent we know is where I'm headed on Friday, the New York accent. Oh,
yeah,
that's the worst.
Well, Boston might be worse.
All right. Oh, yes, the parking down in the yard and all that.
Harvard Yard.
Yeah, they're the most obnoxious. All right, I mentioned Nina Welsh, our guest. I saw several pieces about her. Why I quit as a school librarian. Progressive activism is now the norm. And how does that work? Why? Why did the library change in that manner? She wrote, I can't pinpoint the exact moment that I decided to quit my post as an assistant librarian at a private school, but it was probably when Anderson Press defended its decision to publish a book intended for under sevens that contained illustrations of men in Fetish Girl. When I saw the book, Granddad's Pride, by Harry Woodgate, to be ordered for the June's month-long Pride display, I quickly alerted them to the scandal. They didn't think it was so much of a scandal. So let's go to Nina Welsh from across the pond here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Nina, welcome to Philadelphia. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me on, Dan.
Well, I think that accent improved the show right there.
Right, it's
right
great.
there. It's great. Yes, it's not impenetrable. So, Nina, tell us about the private school you were working at, and didn't you pick up that Grandpa's Pride might be, Granddad's Pride might be a book they would welcome?
Yeah, so I say in my article that I wrote for Unheard that my school, the school library I worked for is quite archetypal for all schools, really, or maybe not all, but an awful lot of schools, particularly private schools, for some reason. Librarians want to celebrate Pride Month, and that's understandable. And naturally, they'll order books that booksellers recommend, that seem to be on the hot list for books that you should share with children and teenagers, to improve their education and make them more tolerant, inclusive, whatever. But this one book, and make no mistake, like I had many books that I had massive aversions to before that for various reasons. But this one book had hit some headlines because the book was both written and illustrated by a person called Harry Woodgate, who uses they, them pronouns. The story of the book, as I understand it, is a little girl with her granddad who is bereaved from his boyfriend / long-term partner, and they go to Pride together. And in the book, there were illustrations of the Pride parade they attended, and I'm really not making this up. The illustrations contained two men caressing in quite a sexual manner in leather fetish gear. Now, my understanding is these illustrations were removed in some publications of the book, but overall it was really heralded as this, put it this way, it's been shortlisted on a prize just as recently as a month ago in the UK. So it seemed to me really representative of this weird thing that seems to be going in children's publishing, where you put a Pride Progress flag in front of a publisher's eyes and they just lose all their inhibitions.
Yeah, you also write here too, why didn't I speak out about them all then,
Yes.
in your country? And there was something going on at the time. The Gender Recognition Reform Bill was not yet defeated. So what was the Gender Recognition Reform Bill?
Right. So in Scotland, there was a law it was passed. Basically, the law stated that, so originally, for a person to legally change their gender, or that's to say to legally change their sex, i.e. to be recognised in a different sex under the law, which would mean access to spaces of that sex, originally, I think we had quite a good balance. You had to live in your acquired gender for 2 years, whatever living in your gender means, really. You had to undergo a medical analysis, and you had to be over the age of 18. So the Scottish Government had proposed this really quite unbelievable bill where they would shorten that to 3 months, remove any need for medical discussion, and it would be lowered to 16 years old, which basically meant that people, I suppose men with nefarious purposes, could very easily, all you had to say, basically the phrase that was used was self-ID. So the second a person says, I am this sex or I am this gender, that's it, no questions asked. So, legally a man could say, right. I'm a woman, and in that second, under the law, he's a woman.
We're talking with Nina Welsh in this column today. And Nina, I wanted to ask you, you go into this, librarians in general, this is around the world, we've seen it in the United States. After you've exposed some of this, after you had to quit from this, the fetish gear and Pride Month, what is it? What's your sense of the change with librarians? It's one thing that the librarians not be seen as so-called old maids, just dusty books and all that. That was a good change of the image. But you talk about TikTok and librarians, and it's gone way beyond that into this activist type of thing.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of talk, and certainly in America as well, I know about this, about teachers who seem to be mistaking their role as being activists rather than, teachers and pushing certain agendas. I think the interesting thing about librarian is that the librarian is very similar to a teacher, but they don't have, you don't mark papers. It's a really interesting role, the librarian. You're like a cross between a teacher and a friend, I'd almost say, but you're still a figure of authority. And I mean, like I said, it might sound quite laughable because you think of the librarian as being, this person at a cardigan stamping books at their desk. But there's a really interesting power in being a school librarian. You decide the collection and you're sort of pushing certain morals and ideas and stories onto children. And something that I say in the article is I've noticed, and I don't say this with any, I'm not saying this happily, but I think that mixture of power or status and nurture attracts, in particular, young progressive women who are particularly attracted to the sort of ideologies behind this for those reasons. That mixture of power and nurture is something I think that needs more focus.
Yeah, no, it's a hotbed here in our suburbs, Nina. Several school districts even made national news around battles associated with this. What do you offer if you do, coming through this, writing about it, you take a broad look at it? What's the solution to this, to stop this type of stuff? They have more balance, I'd say, here.
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, where I live, so United Kingdom, but I'm specifically in Scotland, the thing is, this is a top-down problem. Because this is what I say in the article that I wrote. As a school librarian, I could take up a fight with libraries, but beyond this is a fight with children's publishing, and both of them are quite interlinked. It's going to take, and I think we're already seeing signs of this in America, a huge grassroots movement of parents, teachers, and librarians coming together until this is no longer a fringe issue. And, what does pain me with children's literature is, I am so passionate about children being exposed to books, that challenge them. That's important in childhood, that disturb them, that educate them. But there's just been this complete abdication of common sense in children's publishing. I never thought I'd be the person saying, we need to, I hate using this word, but, we need to really take a look at not censoring, but maybe, removing certain books from the library collection. I never thought I'd be the person saying that, but there's just been this complete abdication of common sense, and activists posturing as authors. It's not even, even the most liberal person should surely agree that feeding deliberate untruths to children through literature, feeding really sordid imagery deliberately to children, as I've said, if you're asking for a solution, it's just going to take it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be overnight, but parents, teachers, and librarians coming together. And basically, in the UK, I said you basically need an inquiry into children's publishing at this point. And maybe you need that in America too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Nina, thank you. Why I quit as a school librarian. Progressive activism is now considered the norm. Nina, thank you. Thanks for taking the time, and thanks for the delightful accent. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Dan.
All right, Nina Welsh here from Scotland on Talk Radio 1210. And with Pride Month upon us, look, we've talked about Lawn Boy before. Dan, what's the other one that you often bring up? Lawn Boy is the one that always gets me. Yeah.
There's genderqueer, but it's not.
Yeah, genderqueer.
That's not the one I'm thinking of.
But this one with granddad in fetish gear, etc., and recommended for under 7. She hit upon it. Children's publishing is going to go where they think these librarians and others are going to buy these books, propagate this. They have a built-in audience. And it's just insidious of all the elements associated with this. We'll have more on it as it continues. All right, lines are available at 855-839-1210. Right now, though, it's time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
The money gone. All right, we have a great prize today. If you've never seen him in person, I have. He is tremendous. A pair of tickets to see Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic Academy in North Wildwood, Saturday, June 29th, I believe. Yes. The show is a musical tribute to Philadelphia sports featuring all of Conklin's impressions, plus songs with Joe's daughter, his brothers, and other guest performers. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
Come on, you got to do it better. JoeConklin.com.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I'm trying to read the type. What is it?
No, it's my fault.
No, it's not yours.
I knocked off the date again.
It's a printer's. It's a printer.
Oh,
here.
gotcha.
That's what's doing.
Yeah, it is June 29th. A great event. But, Dom, we're talking today. Moments in television, film that are hard to watch, whether that's from impactfulness or, I'm going to underline here with today's clue, cringeworthiness, because this person's really good at doing a lot, but anytime she tries to act, Dom, it goes really awry, and it's really hard to watch and becomes some of the worst of all time. So, Dom, I'm going to play a singer by trade singing a Doobie Brothers song. We want to know, Dom, who is the cover artist who's tried acting multiple times in the past and seems to falter every time she does so? Take a listen. One more quick clue, Dom.
Yes.
Relevant in the news today and this week for something that recently happened.
All right, hit us with that. You're off to see Joe Conklin here in the phone lines, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just hit pound 1210. We'll get the answer coming up. And I'll also tell you that I'm going to play for you President Trump on the mail-in ballot. We had on the guy who was one of the people that got him to do it here in Pennsylvania. I think it's a game winner if as publicized as they're telling us. I think this is what makes the difference in the end. We'll play all that coming up on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Our next Talk Radio 1210 WPHT Politics and Pints. I'll be hosting #1 international best-selling author, Navy SEAL Jack Carr. That's right, June 25th. Tuesday night, June 25th at the Zlock Performing Arts Center, Bucks County Community College in Newtown, PA. Tickets are on sale now, and they will sell out. Go to 1210WPHT.com and get your tickets. And I want to see you there. And if not, remember, I got a guy, and he's a Navy SEAL. See you then.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-721-4643. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-721-4643 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643.
Living with Lyme, a condition that you may have and not even know it. John DeMasi here, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Yes, you may be living with Lyme, even if you've had some kind of treatment. Dr. Molly Fantasia and the healthcare team at Innovative Medical Associates have dealt with this condition and have helped hundreds over the years live successfully with Lyme, mainly through the use of medical hydration. They've been able to reduce many of the symptoms associated with Lyme and allow their patients a better quality of life.
I want to get you through your initial challenge, working alongside with my physicians, and then get you to a place where we are looking at maintaining your immune system, maintaining your quality of life.
If you suspect you or someone you know has Lyme disease, visit innovativemedicalassociates.com on the web to schedule a free initial consultation or call 856-489-0505.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Baseball season is heating up. With the free Odyssey app, you can get the most entertaining local coverage of your team while you're at work or on the go. Stay locked in the know with your favorite hosts as they bring you unfiltered takes, react to the latest team news, and talk to callers. Don't miss any of the action. Stream the shows you love live or on demand with the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today for free. Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, so we have a cringeworthy actress singer. Identify who is covering this song here on the Dom Giordano Show. All right, let's go to Samantha in Plymouth Meeting. Sam, who's covering that song?
Hello, Dom.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Dom. Hi, Dan. Is it Madonna?
All right.
It's a good guess.
Good guess.
I think Madonna's a better actress than this person, to be honest with you. League of Her Own, she's good.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to Vince in Mays Landing. All right, Vince, who's covering this?
Would that be Cyndi Lauper?
Wow.
Good try.
Wow, Cyndi Lauper. Don't think that.
No,
I'm going to throw out another
yeah.
clue, Dom.
Yes.
It's relevant in the news because this week, her and a foe of yours, probably your least favorite actor of all time, officially broke up.
Wow, I don't hear that here. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I don't hear that in singing, and I think I would know, but yeah, I'm getting it now. Okay. John in Doylestown. John, who is that?
Hey guys, that is J-Lo.
Yes, it is. Not a huge fan of J-Lo either. There's a lot of rough edges there, and Ben Affleck is just the outgrowth of it, yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan because of Maisie of American Idol. When she was a judge, I did like her a lot as a judge, so that's why I think she can do other things. Just acting is not one of those things that she can ever do. Gigli, she was terrible. Jersey Girl, not good, and everything since, it seems like everything she touches is, not good. So
a bit on the ropes.
cringeworthy.
Ben Affleck will do that to you.
But she is the, quote, queen of dance. Jennifer Lopez is the answer. Congratulations.
All right. So, dancer, yes. We have breaking news that the GOP has sent Hunter Biden, James Biden, criminal referrals to the Department of Justice. Now, I know you're saying, yeah, here we go. For making false statements to Congress. This is a surprise during the gun trial. Also, during the gun trial, the former wife, ex-wife, testifies about his drug use, anger issues, etc. Who didn't know this? This clown is the face of privilege that Democrats always talk about, always ad nauseum tell us about. So the GOP sending these criminal referrals to the Department of Justice. I know it's hard when you only have the one house of Congress and you have the presidency and, of course, the Department of Justice to get any of these things through. And James Biden is the guy, I would be trying to go after here. This guy crawls with all the corruption and business deals that we routinely talk about, not just Joe Biden. So Republicans have at least done that. You could argue, well, don't they do more? Well, trying to get through the Department of Justice is very difficult at this point. So I can't fault them on that just coming down. Now, on the good news front, we had on Captain Sean Parnell, who now is heading up a consortium. It seems to be 3 or 4 major groups across Pennsylvania. They're funded. They may spend $20 million, I'm told, maybe more, in order to get some degree of parity with Democrats when it comes to early voting, mail-in balloting, and reaching people. In fact, I wrote it down. He told me that in the last election, and he said, look, we know all the nonsense that happened here in Pennsylvania. I'm not saying Biden won fair and square, But on paper, he won by 80,000 votes. He talked about those that voted 4 out of 4 out of the last 4 elections, or 3 out of 4, 100,000 of them did not show up and vote, though, that were Republicans. These are 4 for 4 of the previous elections, and 3 out of 4, they did not show up and vote. So it tells us Democrats are banking their votes. We know about the election integrity part. And then, I just found this out late last night, he was able to convince, along with Don Jr. and apparently Laura Trump, he talked about that in the interview, President Trump to cut this ad that he claimed you're going to be seeing. They're targeting Republican voters who are open to Trump. And he said Trump is a wild card. There are all kinds of voters open to him. Look at the fundraising. Look at the rallies. But do they come out and vote? Something always happens. They're just not used to voting. We heard this in 2016, and Trump got enough to get over the finish line. So here's President Trump. And if this is widely publicized, I think it's a top moment in winning in 2024. Here's the new ad with President Trump talking about early voting, mail-in ballots, absentee, call it what you will.
From the very first day that we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, I believe that we're going to have 4 of the greatest years in the history of our country. I will once and for all secure our elections. We're going to go to paper ballots. We're going to have same-day voting, voter ID. We're going to do it properly. We're going to have good, secure, beautiful elections. We never want what happened in 2020 to happen again. But until then, Republicans must win, and we must use every appropriate tool available to beat the Democrats. They are destroying our country. Whether you vote early, absentee, by mail, or in person, we are going to protect the vote. That's the most important thing we have to do, is protect the vote. Keep your eyes open, because these people want to cheat, and they do cheat. And frankly, it's the only thing they do well. We will make sure your ballot is secure and your voice is heard. Many Republicans like to vote on Election Day, and we must swamp the radical Democrats with massive turnout on Tuesday, November 5th. The way you win is to swamp them. If we swamp them, they can't cheat. It just doesn't work out. But if you can't make it, you need to make a plan, register, and vote any way possible. We got to get your vote. So with your vote, we will win a victory the likes of which no one has ever seen before. We will evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024, the most important day in the history of our country. That's what it's going to go down as. Thank you.
All right, that's President Trump. Now, that's just last night that was started to be put out there. I'd love to get your reaction to it. What do you say when you have Trump now? And again, I think this ad, I'd put a lot of money into it, widespread enough, maybe even talking in more detail about election security that he promised here. It is secure. Sean Parnell is a favorite of his, didn't run for office ultimately, but is quarterbacking this, was with us. That'll be up on podcast. And he and I went back and forth with some of the figures they have, just moving the needle, maybe anywhere from 5 to 7 or 8 percentage points of Republican improvement on mail-in balloting, and you're going to win Pennsylvania. What happens if it doesn't move that much? Then it's up in the air. What happens if it moves very little? Then you lose. That's what's going to happen here. Despite all the issues, despite a million other things, the metrics are all great. The polling post the verdict shows minimal lack of movement away from Trump, if at all. It shows on the intensity meter, the base and Republicans in general, enormous for Trump. It shows the fundraising. We know about the rallies. The only missing thing is the most important thing of all, voting. And this is the one thing, Trump just said it, he's right, the one thing they're good at. They've been on top of this. They are maniacal on this because they know that's how they're planning to win, aside from the other challenges. And that division is the defense side, the election integrity side. So is your reaction, you're still not believing it? What source would you hear that would say, yeah, this is what you have to do to win? If not the guy who risked not only not becoming president, but all these legal cases that won't go away, they're not going to stop if he loses. Endorsing this, saying it's secure. What more do you need? Don Jr. apparently, Sean Parnell told us, had a lot to do with this. Laura Trump has been public on this. Whatley, the RNC guy, who they put in for election integrity extraordinaire, they're on it. It doesn't mean that the other side rolls away and they won't stop it. We know that. We know here in Philadelphia, we're one of the capitals of this. But it means this time around, we're much ahead of the game. And if people take to this, I mean, they might spend $20 million just on mail-in balloting and things related to it, Republicans here in Pennsylvania. But they need Trump even a little bit more. He's on Fox tonight in a big interview, and I hope he says it. I hope he talks about the ad. I hope they show it. Do you reject that, even if it's Trump? Do you say, I don't want to hear that? I don't think people should do that. Do you reject the logic of it? Is it the security of it? You have him vouching for that. Let's see where it goes. Let's see how national they make this. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. We honor tomorrow, June 6th, 80 years later. That's the side question today. Saving Private Ryan. Tough to watch, those opening scenes. Brutal on the beach. Hit us with something impactful, but tough to watch. Dan had several. I had several. Yours are open. Here's your chance to get in with them. But on the mail-in ballots, what do you say back to President Trump on this? What's your response to this? He's pivoted. I had a guy say, well, why did they take this number of years? All right. We're here now, though. Now it just has to be more widespread. That's the thing that has to happen. If it is more widespread, we're going to win. If it's not, it's in doubt. That's the way I see it. Do you think I'm telling you something? Just as it's obvious what's in front of me. The beauty of this is we know something. We're not guessing. We know what the facts are here of what's going to happen. And we'll be able to tell you on Election Day when we start to see the numbers of how the mail-in balloting has gone about where we stand. Because we know we're going to beat them on Election Day. That's a given. But people are well-meaning, and then they don't show up and vote. I don't get that. I mean, unless you're, something just unbelievably severe. Some people won't wait in line. They run out of ballots. There's a tornado. All these things add up. It's razor close in Pennsylvania. Razor close. This time more than the last. I'm betting it's going to be under the number we had the last time, the winner in Pennsylvania. But it's definitely doable. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Let's talk Captain Chucky's Father's Day. Summer cookouts. All good reasons to make the call to Captain Chucky's. Order delicious seafood. Make your gathering a hit. Let Captain Chucky's help. Don't forget to order that brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. Delicious, creamy, jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. And it's a perfect time to check out all of Captain Chucky's offerings. Delicious stuffed mushrooms, various salads, tremendous variety of homemade sides, desserts. You'll save so much time letting the folks at Captain Chucky's prepare your table. Captain Chucky's also has several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody, desserts, soup, sides, appetizers. They use only the highest quality ingredient. They're Gulf shrimp. It's a huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. And my favorite, you'll want it once, you will not stop with it, the Dom Roll. So visit Captain Chucky's today. There's a location near you. Go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. If you're headed to the Jersey Shore, visit CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
An unsettled forecast returns to the Delaware Valley. Partly to mostly cloudy today with some scattered afternoon showers and storms, high 84. Tonight, a better chance for some showers and storms, some heavy rain possible, low 68. Thursday, partly sunny, still some showers and storms around, high 86.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I know that with this economy, summer vacation may seem a bit unaffordable this year, but I still want you to make those summer memories with the kids. You gotta do it, right? Summer vacation. And my happy place, the Grand Hotel of Cape May, makes it easy and affordable. Book a June midweek stay, and you will receive resort credits. That's right, they're gonna give you money to spend at the resort. Now, they have 2 gigantic pools, including a heated indoor pool, and you will love the food at Hemingway's restaurant. And you're gonna love using their resort credits on site. For example, you stay a week, you're gonna get $70 a night back in resort credits to use. And you can use them how you want to use them. And the Grand Hotel offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with a kitchenette. So you get the best of both worlds. It's like renting a shore home, but with all the amenities of a full-service resort. And you don't have to pack the sheets and the towels. You enjoy the convenience of a private kitchenette, refrigerator, and housekeeping. Book direct with them for the best rates to get your resort credits. Book your stay at 800-257-8550 or visit them online at grandhotelcapemay.com. They will sell out this summer. grandhotelcapemay.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Okay, it is Dom time. If you missed the first part of the show, too, this Biden immigration executive order going into play, and not much happening around it. The best analogy today we were able to find, this is from the Immigration Studies Group. They're the real anti-illegal immigration over the last 20 years. And they say, how did they come up with 2,500 to be the limit? Probably they sat in a room with focus groups, and they're asking these people in swing states, and they're trying to get to a number before these people go wild and would reject it of what is going to be allowed in. Our job is to let the American people, Dan and I, the number we arrived at, that still would be on paper, 910,000 a year they're guaranteeing to come in. So really, with gotaways and all, it still would be 1.2, 1.5 million people is what they're talking about. The other analogy is this. The article I read today cites one of these progressive DAs, this one in Fairfax, Virginia. He has a policy. He's not going to do anything, even if he's going to let it on the books. If you're caught shoplifting under $1,000. Now with Krasner, it's under $500, but under $1,000. Just think of some of the things that might be on sale. Dan, it was a big screen TV, or relatively big, right?
$9.99.
$9.99.
Yeah.
You could just wheel that out and say,
Rollback
hey,
deal,
you
Dom.
can't take that out. Why not? It's under $1,000.
Get him out. Get him out of here.
So Biden is doing the same exact thing. What I'm saying is we got to work overtime here on illustrating to people that this is nothing. It's still enormous, despite what they're touting, because it helps them versus what they were doing, at least marginally. That's why they're doing it. All right, so 855-839-1210. This Trump clip, let me know the first time you see it. We were told by Sean Parnell, who's the quarterback of all these groups coming together around this with millions of dollars. This is the first guy and the first people that got President Trump to do this. It's one thing to drop something on Truth Social. It's another to cut, and it was classic Trump. He pivots, and then he tells you why you got to do this if you want to get these other things done. I'm fine with that. Will it motivate people to say, yeah, and I'm going to tell other people, bank the vote, do that, you never know what happens. I can't answer why these people are so gung-ho. The fundraising's incredible. The rallies are incredible. But do they actually vote in the end? The other side, you got these tepid Democrats who don't even want to show up on Election Day, but they're banking the vote. They're good at it. And we don't even have to beat them at this. We're beating them at the other things. We have to do two things. One, do better at this. And two, all out. And I think there's signs the Trump campaign is doing this to protect the vote, election integrity. Now, there's always more that can be done, but they're on it this time more than the last. That's the defense. The offense is mail-in balloting. All right, Frank in Jersey. He's next on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Frank. Welcome in. Yo, Frank, are you there? All right, Frank, call us back, 855-839-1210. So think on the border, this is very much akin to these progressive DAs and what they're doing with something like shoplifting. That's exactly what Biden is doing here. And how do you pick the number 2,500? Well, they're trying to play with the mind that they're lowering it. This is a reasonable number. They're really cracking down. Republicans won't help them. We have to do some of this for asylum. And when you look at that shows on paper, it's over 900,000 people. In addition to the gotaways, it's well over 1 million still. So we're going to withstand it. I have a piece here today that talks about, I think this was a Washington Post even. Yeah. That in Washington, D.C., the number of families arriving in D.C. with children in need of immediate supports has increased more rapidly than anticipated by anybody. And what this means is emails between D.C. public school officials are offering a glimpse into the strain placed on schools in Washington, D.C., as the sanctuary city struggles to handle an influx of migrants illegally into the nation's capital. The emails obtained by our buddies, Parents Defending Education via FOIA Act, shared with Fox News, show a number of challenges. The numbers were rising. Governor Abbott, they talk about the continued need of support for language. They talked about overcrowded classrooms. Multiple grades were full, could not hold additional students. They said that one email warned that one school had received an influx of English language learner students who do not speak English, and the teachers need support with strategies to support our scholars. Yeah, right, scholars. So here is a little bit more on this issue. Again, this is prime real estate here for Trump to develop. And here is, Cavuto. One thing Neil Cavuto does on Fox, very little, but he gets on Mayorkas. Listen to this exchange where even Neil Cavuto is telling him drug cartels are going to be able to use the so-called unaccompanied children. They're still in here. They're going to be able to come here on their own. And how are they going to do that? Here's Cavuto.
So the one thing I didn't understand, Secretary, there are a number of exemptions for this, including, unaccompanied children. And isn't that a green light for drug cartels to take advantage of that? And, the whole purpose of this, it sort of blows up in your face.
Oh, absolutely not.
But
Neil,
who's going to watch those unaccompanied
accepted-
children? If they are allowed in, you don't ship them back, you don't do anything like that. So where do they go?
Neil, we deal with unaccompanied children in a humanitarian way, adhering to our values. We deter irregular migration. We build lawful pathways.
But this encourages
we have
drug
programs
cartels
for
to
minors.
take advantage of those kids, does it not, sir?
Neil, we're taking it to the drug cartels with unprecedented strength through our transnational criminal investigative units.
No, this is actually
through
a
our
green light
Immigration
for
and
those
Customs
cartels.
Enforcement.
Isn't that the fear, that this was actually green lighting and say, oh, God, that we can use these kids as pawns to get what we want?
Neil, let's be clear. The cartels, the smuggling organizations are unscrupulous. They exploit individuals of all different types of vulnerabilities. We are taking it to the cartels. We accepted unaccompanied children from this asylum bar because of the compelling humanitarian picture they present.
All right, let me get a better...
We're going to adhere to our values.
Okay.
We're going to adhere to our values while we take tough enforcement measures, which is what we have done.
All right. Well, first of all, stop using unaccompanied children. It's unaccompanied minors. The children makes you think these are very young. Often that's not the case. They're minors. Some of them are. So, again, Republicans have to be, this is their moment on this phony thing to shine, to find something that reaffirms to the American people what a scam this is. Here is Senator Kennedy, the all-time best. This guy, I would just say, hey, you're going to have to come into our office an hour each day. We're going to take this guy's brain apart. He's the funniest guy out there. Listen to what he compares Biden's polling status to when it comes to this issue of the border.
Okay, I want you to listen up. Here's the drill. President Biden is in trouble politically. He's polling right up there with fungal infections. Part of the reason for that is that he gave in to the loon wing of his party, and he dissolved the southern border. Now, 5 months before an election, he has to appear to be willing to do something about it, hence this executive order. And he expects you to report this epiphany that he has had, take what the White House is telling you, balance it on your noses like trained seals, and report it uncritically.
Absolutely. And it's our job to find out things like the shoplifting thing as an example, and other examples of exactly what this scam is. Where did they come up with 2,500? Why is 2,500 the magic number? Tell me more about the 2,500. What's the metric behind it? Is it like a Fauci 6-foot thing? You just arrived at it, you made it up, you focus grouped it? That's what has to be done. Not bad by Neil Cavuto, but he could have jumped in a little bit more. He won't get Mayorkas back on, but at least he played it out with them. Yeah, what about the unaccompanied minors? All right, lightning round is next. 855-839-1210. The NBA playoffs have tipped off, but it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and a lot more. There's no better place to bet on all that playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M, to get started. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry.
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying,
Will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, that's right. All right, June 6th tomorrow. 80 years. We're talking about something impactful. The great Saving Private Ryan. Hit us with an impactful scene from a film. Let's go to Drew in Upper Darby. And Drew, congrats the other day with the Angela Lansbury thing. That was perfectly entertaining and outside the box.
Thanks, Tom. I got lucky. I guess I slept on a Holiday Inn Express last night. Hey, Dom, what makes this scene so impactful and disturbing is that in real life, these two actresses really resented each other. And in the movie, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, with Betty Davis, her sister's paralyzed, who's Joan Crawford, and she feeds her dinner, and Joan Crawford lifts up the plate lid, and there's a dead rat on the plate.
Yes.
It's hard to watch.
Well, that is in the top 5 all-time public figure feuds. I mean, I don't know which one is worse because Mommy Dearest, of course, is Joan Crawford.
Yes. It's disturbing. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, they were playing something that they actually would do it to each other. They were the two biggest actresses of the year, and they hated each other beyond belief. Betty Davis eyes.
That's a fantastic answer again for you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Earl of Tacony, the Earl. Earl, what's yours?
My answer was originally cut from the original American release, but it's been reintegrated in, and now anytime you try to stream the movie, you're going to see this scene in the extended version. It's from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where Tuco is walking Blondie through the impassable desert, through the devil's frying pan, and there's no shade, and Blondie's all got sun poisoning, and he's just dying of thirst. And as he's laying there in the desert, a boot comes in front of his face, and he grabs the boot thinking he's going to kill Tuco. Well, Tuco took off his boot and filled it full of water, and Blondie has to think, do I drink the water out of his boot or do I die of thirst? And even before he has a chance to drink the water out of his boot, Tuco kicks the boot over and spills the water all over the sand.
All right, and I don't remember that scene quite. I know Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Excellent, though. Bruce in the Northeast. Hey, Bruce, what's yours today?
Hey, Tom, this is really cringeworthy. I remember I watched it live on television, the Miss Teen USA pageant, and that poor girl got up there and she just stumbled and fell apart in front of the whole nation.
Miss South Carolina.
Yeah, it was something.
Junior Miss, Dan. And it's a guy, it's Mario,
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and I believe that.
I wonder what she's doing today. Probably running for Congress at some point. Richard in Summerdale. Let's get Richard in. All right, Richard, what's yours?
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, how about World Trade Center? It's a Oliver Stone movie about 9/11 with Nicolas Cage and Michael Pena, and they are going to the tower after the first tower collapsed, and they're there, and they arrive just in time on the scene for the second tower, and they get buried under the rubble, and they were under there for 14 hours, and they were rescued by a couple Marines.
Thank you, Richard. I would say, Dan, the French documentary, people jumping off the building, what's that thought? That's people jumping from the 99th floor. They thought they were better off than what was going on there. All right.
Miss South Carolina Teen USA is now a two-kid mom and a real estate agent out in Los Angeles. Successful, too, so landed on her feet.
Would you buy real estate from her? Oh, my goodness.
So I'll throw that one in there. Bruce in the Northeast is a finalist. Good, Bad, and Ugly. I like Earl's. Drew in Upper Darby, who won yesterday with another great call, though, with the feud, the behind-the-scenes of whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Tell me your winner.
I might have to go with Drew.
All right, I go with that. Was a great one. They both hate a rat right there. That's an old film, too, but that is a classic. All right, Drew goes into the hat here. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Rich Cioy next for 4 big hours on Talk Radio 1210.
Get slimmer for this summer without any shots. NJ Diet is nearly twice as fast